More like Irish struck. That's what the Fighting Irish did to the Aggies down in College Station. Man, what
Didn't know what hit him. I loved it.
And what I will say is this, Red Snapper, you and I wanted to go, and what's funny is like the morning of the game, or maybe the night before, I was looking at like Ticketmaster or something. I was like, how much are tickets up in the cheapos? And they were less than $200. And I like am doing that face palm, thing, and I'm just like,
Yep.
fuck, we could have gone. Like, at least, we'd probably be sleeping in the car. I don't know, but we could have been there. So maybe
for somebody who did a turnaround to Oakland for one baseball game, I was back in the same 24 hours.
That's because you're special.
Well,
You're a real fan. That's what you. That's nice. Thank you, everyone, for joining the Fighting Irish Faithful show. This is a little bit of Texas A&M celebration still. We did not talk to everybody, including my brother, who is my co-host.
What's up, everybody?
Introduce yourself. Who are you on X?
Oh, Red Snapper 9098. Of course, everybody knows that.
Do they? I just got like 50 more followers this past week. Like
sweet.
I mean, I don't know where your follower count is, but that's okay.
Hey, I'm the color commentary. Remember, I'm not the primary. I'm here to support you.
Oh,
all right.
Thanks, older brother. What a good big brother you are. Red Snapper and I are brothers. This is volume 127, season 5, episode 8. And we'll also, of course, do a preview of Northern Illinois. And talk about all sorts of good stuff. A couple other things we'll talk about, but first I want to get Red Snapper's opinion of the Texas A&M game. He did not. I'm kind of putting you on the spot, brother, but I assume you have some thoughts, etc., related to the game that you were unable to share live with us because you were busy doing other things.
Do you know what? I'm actually really, really pissed.
Okay.
Because I said we were going to win by 12, and we only won by 10. So everybody who was sitting there saying, I don't know, it's going to be close. I don't know. No, I'm pissed because I wanted the 12 at least, because I wanted to show that this game, I had full confidence in the running game and the defense. And that's exactly what this game was. It's exactly what this game was. The defense was the defense. It showed that it is a top college defense. Finished that way last year. We got all of our key components back this year. And for the team to go into game 1, new offensive coordinator, very young offensive line, you relied ball possession, running the football, and letting your defense win the game. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. I don't actually recall what the time of possession was in this game. I'm gonna have to look that up, but give me 2 seconds here to pull it up. Notre Dame did have the advantage, 31 minutes and a half over 28 and a half for the Aggies, which is odd because it didn't feel like that at times, but it was pretty even for the game. But I mean, I actually stopped keeping track of time of possession, I think, in season 2 or 3, just because as time went on, it was a pain in the ass to keep track of, and B, national champions in general. It wasn't a convincing stat. Like, they were kind of just above middle of the road.
And I kind of expect that, honestly, with the trend moving more toward passing, more deep threat, that kind of thing, RPO. You have plays that are quick hits that, if you can run the score up, absolutely. And I get that. Time of possession matters if your offense is run heavy. And game 1 specifically, absolutely we should be. It's kicking the rust off. It's seeing what the components are. You've got a very young, fresh offensive line that's going to be green, dealing with a new offensive coordinator who, honestly, I'd give him a B+. There are a couple things that I heard because I listened to the show from Saturday, and I agree. We should have done a couple more rollouts, couple boot passes, get Leonard a little bit, Riley Leonard a little bit more comfortable. And, it also helps protect those young guys on their offensive line, but running the ball, give them blocking assignments specific, and they did a great job. I mean, for young guys putting up what they had to, yeah. I mean, we gave up what, 2 sacks, 3 sacks?
We had 0 sacks against us. We accumulated just one. Just one? Just one. Um,
Just one.
there's a fella who can't hold his liquor. Okay. That's a Back to the Future reference if anyone
He
doesn't
just
get that.
likes to hold
He
it.
just likes to hold it. Not me, though, on the other hand. Scotch and spreadsheets here. We are. The question is, do we finish this Costco bottle? There's about. It's the real tall one. It's about a thumb tall as far as what I'm seeing there.
We'll see how the night
We'll
goes.
see
We'll
how it
see how the
goes.
night
I,
goes.
I I don't think it's really that kind of an. I mean, we're playing Northern Illinois. Okay, like I literally had to look down at my paper. Who are we playing? Yeah, even though I just spent the past half hour looking up their statistics. I even looked at their recruiting. If anyone wants to talk about that, um,
Wow.
that's just me being thorough because it's like if I don't fill it in, then I feel like I'm a slacker or like it'll just be this nagging thing that'll keep me up at night, which shouldn't.
Anything you want to get to before we jump over to Wookiee?
I not me personally. I do just want to kind of get some people's high level opinion. We will circle around to so high level. We got some fun stuff we'll talk about. Some high level Northern Illinois stuff against their opponent, who's another team, which I got a small funny story connection with their opponent, who was Western Illinois, the Leathernecks, and some of the good and the bad per se from Texas A&M that we can carry into this other game and improve upon. So that's the roadmap for tonight for the show. If that doesn't interest it, turn it off and we don't care. But peace be with you. What was that? Shake the dust off your feet. Fine. We got plenty of other people. All right, that
Don't
like
let the door hit you on the way out.
Yeah, exactly. We'll try to. I'm trying to be a kinder person. All right. So without much ado, there's a gentleman here who's on mute who needs to come off mute as soon as his theme starts playing here.
Fuck Michigan. What's up, y'all? How we doing?
What's up, Wookie?
Go Irish.
Go Irish. Now this sidebar, Wookie, not to cut you off from your epic, cool, fun theme, but if anyone else wants to have a theme, again, we take suggestions. So we got to come up with something for Air Parsegian. Uncle June.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting like a Mad Men vibe from Uncle June. I'm not sure why. Maybe. Yeah, 5 Foot Nothing Pod's going to be like some ska band or something. And... no, I don't. I mean that like as like an accurate portrayal, not like in a way.
Oh,
of
100%.
Disrespectful. No, like respect. Like.
Anyway.
Yeah,
all of us Fighting Irish faithful need a theme song coming in for sure.
That's fine. None of this shit's monetized right now, so we can kind of bend some copyright rules. Okay, when the fun music stops, that's when other stuff is happening. But we're not actually doing live video in the studio here, and there's no camera in my face because the office is a mess. So.
Come
Wookie,
on, we gotta see The Office.
You've seen tons of pictures of this.
I have.
Of the business end, and that's all that matters. Wookie, what? Let's step back to this Texas A&M game, or you could talk. You could talk about Northern Illinois' recruiting if you want. What do you think of the game? What are your thoughts? We're 1-0, ranked 5th in the AP. Not that it really matters in week 2, but here we are.
I was working while the game was on, so I was watching sober, but yeah, I was stoned, but was not drunk. And the first half, our O-line, holy fuck. What in the hell was that? Like, with the penalty yards, over 100? That's unacceptable.
It was really bad, the penalty yards. Was it 99?
It's showing youth. Yeah, it's showing youth. It's showing youth. That's all it was. Is getting the jitters up. First game, very hostile territory.
Right.
Hey, baptism, gentlemen, welcome.
Just shy of 100. We're at 99 penalty yards for 11. Now, some of those I will say were complete BS. The pass interference on Jaden Mickey was dog shit.
Right.
But
Right.
I'm very rarely one to point a finger and blame the ref for something. There's only very few exceptions. But no, I agree with you, and we'll talk about penalties later, of course.
ACC refs.
I mean,
ACC refs.
it used to be the Big East when I was a student. That wasn't much better, quite frankly. But
No.
Big East is a basketball conference. What do they have football teams for anyway?
Well, I know, but
But
that was
we went in there and we fucking got the job done and we won. Was it pretty? No, it wasn't pretty. But did we pave the way for a 12-0? Oh, hell yeah, baby. Take this shit by storm.
Yes.
Grip it and rip it.
Nice. No, I agree. This is a first, if anyone hasn't listened to my post game show, the and even the graphic I put up on X was, a graph going up and to the right. And that was kind of the response. If I can illustrate this graphically, is the data point for the 2024 season. The first point is high and to the right. So, we have amplitude and we have success down a very difficult environment, which is what anyone from Nick Saban to, all the people at ESPN, et cetera, they're all like, oh, the environment of Kyle Field, the fans, etc. And it is impressive to see on TV everyone with the towels and stuff. Right. There's probably a little more beer and less wine and cheese crowd in that stadium versus Notre Dame Stadium, but nonetheless,
We'll change that.
It was an environment that the team looked prepared and locked in to deal with that, and if it results in us having 99 yards of penalties as a way to stay aggressive, to keep the tenacity and the energy up, and bring up the intensity. If that results in more penalties, I'm kind of okay with it.
Right. Yeah, I am too, to an extent, but besides the penalties, can we go way back to the beginning of the game when you saw Marcus Freeman out there with his team before they went onto
pacing
the field
back and forth,
fucking went crazy. He was pumping them up. That's a coach right there. That's my coach.
He seriously looked like he just pounded a Red Bull, and then he's just pacing back and forth, and he's got look at the eyes. Next time, I encourage everybody to look at that. Look at the eyes. He's just staring. He's
focused.
He's just ready to go. Yeah. He's like, I got my troops ready. The guys behind him are kind of doing that thing where they're bouncing their shoulders up and down and just kind of all right, game on, baby.
Pumped. That got me pumped up for this game. As soon as I saw
game day, he was the MMA hype man coming out from his, he was absolutely playing the role. The man looked like he had just maxed out bench before they came out.
He was lit. He was lit. Totally. He was lit up for this game. This was his fucking game that he wanted to do. And, well, it wasn't pretty, no, but we got the job done, so that's all that matters.
I didn't want it pretty. I wanted it to be a slugfest. I wanted it to be a ground and pound type of game, and that's exactly what they played. Well, when I was watching the play calling, I was like, yes, keep running it down their throat. Keep running it down their throat. My coaches used to always say, especially penalties that were early, make the penalty count. Let that person across the line know from you. You're going to see this all game long.
But there was a point where the running wasn't going or doing anything, and I was just like, dude, grip it and fucking rip it. Let's go. Throw it downfield. Why the hell can't we throw it downfield? Why? Why not?
Yeah, I do have some points about that. The passing is a concern, at least in this game.
It is.
And you could chalk that up to good defense, to some of the just overall Riley Leonard stats, but it is an opportunity of improvement for Notre Dame. We only had 158 yards, 60% completion percentage, 0 touchdowns, and all 3 of those things combined concern me. It's not just like 1 or 2 of them was off; all 3 were off, which is a problem. Now, what's funny is on the flip side of that, the defense was very good on pass defense.
Defense was amazing,
limiting our opponent Texas A&M to 100 yards total through the air. Made Wegman very uncomfortable, could not get a completion. Our secondary looked stellar. It was fantastic.
Yeah, defense was on point all night long. I got no complaints about that. And who was it that got his first interception of his career?
Yeah, Adon Schuler. I had to look him up. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? This guy's a transfer from Clemson. No, this dude's a redshirt freshman, technically a sophomore safety. He enrolled in last year's class with Rico Flores, who's not with us anymore, but Jeremiah Love. He's in Jeremiah Love's class. He's in the 2023 class. He's a 4-star talent. He sat out for a year, and now here he is in his first real action in a Notre Dame gold helmet is at Kyle Field, and he gets an interception. It was fabulous. And I'm like, who's this guy? I'm like looking at my phone, like, who's this? I've got a baby in one hand and my phone scrolling to the other, like, who's this guy? I don't know who he is.
Considering the talent of our secondary, for him to play, that says something.
I agree.
I was actually on a call. I was on a work call when he fucking picked that off, and I put mute on my phone and said, who the fuck was that just intercepted it? Like, what in the hell's going on here? But I'll take it. Like, and it just went down with my work call. But yeah, dude, that game, oh man, I hope they get better than that. Because, we did not look good, but
I will say this. If that was Notre Dame's rusty game, sign me up. Because I think we have the opportunity clearly to improve this week and over the next few weeks. I'm seeing shit on X already from Purdue fans, right? Like, shut the fuck up, Purdue. and I work with a ton of Purdue people. So this week I'll be professional, but next week I probably wear Notre Dame shit every day.
Do it.
Now, fortunately, my boss is not a Purdue guy, but he's an Ohio State guy. But he does know college football, so he gets the upper hand basically over the last 5 times we've played him. It feels.
Right.
But the enemy of my enemy is my friend, i.e. Michigan. Mm-hmm. So we have our Michigan ranting sessions as well. So I didn't bother to tell him that Ohio State didn't even play anybody this weekend, but that's fine.
They did not look good that first.
It's all about the bonus. It's all about the bonus. Okay.
Right. Gotta get that. Gotta get the bonus.
Gotta get the bonus. I think that's a Jerry Maguire.
Hey,
gotta get the bonus.
I cannot wait for October 12th, baby. I'm gonna be in South Bend.
It's coming.
Everything is set. I'm there.
Good. Yes, Wookie, we're excited to see you, excited to meet you soon. We're going to move on to some other people here. You can, by all means, please stay and listen. Thank you for joining us, Wookie, on the X, at Wookie4C Elliott on X. Thank you so much.
And fuck Michigan.
That's fine. Let's get Uncle June on here, invite you to speak, and then we'll go to Coach Parsegian. Unless he's at Mikhail's and it's really loud and he's pounding a cheese crisp right now. Red Snapper, I have a question. What's wrong with Florida State? They're terrible right now.
I would say the mass exodus of talent. Everybody went to the NFL.
I guess.
And then those that didn't transfer out. Honestly, it's what it is.
They've dropped two conference games back to back.
Yep.
And both of them are in like high profile. Like, it's not like they played Georgia Tech at 3:30 in the afternoon.
No, they got spanked too. They got think.
Yeah, these are not close losses, right? Like, we don't need to devote a lot of time to Florida State because we don't like them, but we're talking about them because we don't like them. But they're now 0-2. I forget who I was talking to. Somebody about Florida State, and they were like, "Wait, what? Who? What?" And I'm like, "No, seriously, they they're
They
not doing
lost to
well.
Boston College.
Lost to Boston
Like
College at
that.
home, like
That was
convincingly lost. Now,
yeah. Like it.
do you know how
Geez,
Boston College beat them?
I did not.
Rushing the
I
football.
did not. Oh, hey, that would be my guess.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a part of it. So, but no, so I did want to talk about that. Florida State is having a meltdown, and I'm kind of okay with it. Now it's not good for a quote unquote strength of schedule, but let's face it, when has our strength of schedule really quote unquote helped us? It's all about record.
It is.
And beating teams that matter, and when the optics are there. These are things I don't like. I wish strength of schedule quote unquote mattered more, but it just doesn't happen. So, but yes, it's kind of fun to see Florida State, kind of a tier 2, tier 3 for me personally, team I don't like. But that being said, yeah, it's we'll see how much more they melt this week. But I did want to talk about Florida State and how terrible they're doing right now. What a horrible way to start. You go undefeated in the season last year. You get snubbed out of the playoffs, which I thought was a mistake, but then they get pounded by Georgia in the bowl game. It was very bloody. And then here they are now, and it's like, well, maybe the committee was right. Like, I don't know. Justin Case, Director of Marketing for the Fighting Irish Faithful Show. I see you're on mute. Sir, come back to us.
Hello. I think DJU is what happened to Florida State.
Oh my gosh, it's
really it's painful, and I actually feel sorry. I'm not joking. At some points last night, I thought they need to pull him out and just let him sit for a minute. Someone needs to talk to him. He missed so many wide open throws. It was crazy.
It's funny. I remember seeing something about that on X, that someone was like, "Oh no, we need to get him out of here," or whatever. And I'm just like, well, and part of me kind of feels bad for the guy, because he started at Clemson, really high rated recruit. I mean, he plays Notre Dame in the 2020 game. We win, which is great. But yeah, it's just nuts. I'm not sure where to go with this. I'll just put it that way. Like,
I feel like Notre Dame is in for a repeat of what DJU did, because we sort of get everyone's best shot. I'm like, well,
yeah,
he'll have one incredible game against Notre Dame this year. It'll be like when he was at Clemson, and everyone will go, "Oh, look, he's back," and we'll,
yeah.
That seems unlikely with our defense, but it just, as a 40-something-year-old Notre Dame fan, I've seen it a lot,
Yeah, exactly. Justin Cates, we didn't have you on the post-game Texas A&M show. What are what's your thoughts there?
It's fun times.
It is fun. That was a fun way to start the season. Really good. Really good. That's it.
Yeah, so that was fun, and I guess it looks like I got mute.
I'm not muting you.
No.
Unless it's the space doing something.
Yeah, the space. Twitter's been giving me hell.
Uh-oh.
First half, I chewed off all my fingernails, and sort of was waiting to see what was going to happen. Nice to have, things open up a little bit. I thought the defense was unbelievable.
Yeah.
The offensive line sort of started clicking in, but even then, I mean, I've heard some people say, I think if you're grading on a curve, the offensive line did well. But except for Bryce's big touchdown run, I mean, Julian Love found a sliver and was almost tripped up and ran it for a touchdown, which is fine because he still did it.
Mm-hmm.
But I am hoping that we gel a little bit more. We get a little more continuity. We start opening some things up against Northern Illinois. Not the playbook, but just you know, let's sort of cram it down their throat a little bit. Let's get our guys moving a little bit better, feeling each other out. And then let Riley sort of get into a groove. So I
I
think that last week was amazing. I'm glad we pulled away. Like the field goal made me so happy. Like, okay, perfect. We hit 10. It's a 2-score game.
Oh, to close
Mark.
out the game.
Yeah, I thought, okay, that to me. There's a big difference when I look at a score between 7 and 10.
Agreed.
It's like the baseball player in you is sort of like you're in the grand slam zone if you're within 4.
Yeah.
It's like, well, if they get one, they can do it once, but 10 points, it doesn't matter. And a lot of guys play
two possession game, right? 2 possession game.
100%.
Good.
One thing I think this week is going to be imperative is, and it should show on Saturday, but it starts with the breakdown of the film of this game. And this is where I think we're going to see a huge difference in offensive coordinator with Denbrock. I think that's going to be huge.
I hope so. I mean, I think, and I don't. I mean, dominant teams are able to run their offense at will. Okay, and though one of the positives I have from the game is the rushing, the fact that we were just shy of 200 yards on the ground. I think that was really a strength, and both of our touchdowns came on the ground, and they came from a fairly far distance. This wasn't like we're on the 3 and we punch one in, right? So we find the hole, and then the athlete takes over. The next piece, though, is okay. That's one side of the football. Let me rephrase that. It's one side of the offense, and passing is important. We will not ignore it. We will pay attention to it, and it is. If we just look at Saturday's performance and of how Riley Leonard and the passing game did from a productivity standpoint, yards, completion percentage, touchdowns, right? None of those 3 are good, quite frankly, and they will not get it done. Now, there's a lot of other, what else is going on? Is it the defense? Is it the offensive line? There's a couple other things. I thought some of the play calling was kind of shitty on the passing. Some of them were good, but some of them were dumb. Like we're doing swing passes and fly routes, and I'm like, this is not setting us up for success. But I think, again, this is a younger receiving group. I've said for weeks now, we don't have the home run receiver guy. Faison's out, I hear, for at least a week or 2 with a foot injury from the game. So that's unfortunate. So that means other people are going to have to step up. Now, what's interesting is I was looking at Bo Collins because he's obviously our transfer in from Clemson. So he was he came in the 2021 class. Red Snapper, do you know what high school Bo Collins went to?
I have no clue.
It was one of your rivals, not your rival, but another one. In the modern era, they're the rival of your high school.
Bosco, I'm guessing?
Bosco. He went to St. John Bosco. Same high school as DJ Uyanglele. Right?
Nice.
Yeah.
And KDA.
And KDA, who's now playing for Notre Dame, which got 3 tackles in this game. I did not notice that until this afternoon when I'm looking at the stats. So he got some. You're being a true freshman at Notre Dame, and yeah, that's what you did. So that was cool to see KDA get some being able to make a contribution. But no, Bo Collins, he's the. He is a transfer, obviously, from Clemson in the 2021 class, comes to Notre Dame, but it's from the Southern California area, which I thought was kind of interesting for me and Red Snapper, since we're familiar with St. John Bosco's high school.
Exactly.
What are they? They're the Braves, I think, the Bosco Braves. I think is their mascot.
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, they're the Braves because during the national anthem they go the Braves, at the so it's like the Dallas Stars. We go Stars, during the okay, enough. I'm teaching my children the Dallas
The
Stars
appropriate
chants.
responses.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like we're out in the garage, I hold him up, I say slap the sign, he knows to slap the play like a champion today sign, right? Stuff like that. So it's
Hey, these are important fatherly duties.
these are life lessons that right now I'm teaching him to be potty trained. That's not going very well. So it might be a reflection of me and as a parent.
My prayers are with you.
Yeah, we're trying to bribe him with stuff. Well, no one needs to hear about this. All right, moving on. Uncle June, any other thoughts we need to take from the Texas A&M game? If not, we're going to go on to Coach Barsegian.
No, I mean, I'm just, like you said, I'm glad they almost hit 200 yards. I think that's huge. I think that it'll sort of be a blessing in disguise to not have face on. Let Mitchell Evans get another sort of few weeks, get the young guys involved, get the young tight ends involved, the young receivers involved.
Mm-hmm.
They sort of have like a game where we get right. I mean, I feel like I won't say his name, but under an old coach, I felt like not as confident going into games like this. Like when we played Cal a few years ago.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, it shouldn't be a problem, because of what was left over. But now I feel like confident. I feel like this could be a get right game and something to build off of. It's like I sort of look at Purdue circled. And so I sort of look at it as a countdown, like, okay, let's sort of get healthy, get right. Let's get there. Let's make another, blow them out. Let's move on into Louisville and, other games like that. I think this will be a get right game. It'll be a fun game. Hopefully a bunch of guys. I did have an interesting thought today when I was driving.
Okay.
Turn it off, Jeremiah. Sorry, my son just turned on a stupid YouTube show. It'll be interesting to see the pecking order of the quarterbacks if they can get a big lead. Because I know Angeli's the backup, but
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see if they're going to get Minchie and Carr snap,
right?
If they can sort of open up a lead that big enough, and what order?
Which I would love to see.
Yeah. Get everybody reps. Yeah, it is Notre Dame's champagne problem. Who is going to be the quarterback? That's coming in second, third, fourth. Like where do we go with this? And if the offense is cooking, it gives everybody else a lot more playing time, rest the starters, right? There's no reason why our backups should not see ample time on Saturday. I mean, Notre Dame is 28.5 points favorite. Now, we threw rocks at what Vegas was the bullshit they were saying where Notre Dame was a 3-point dog last week, right? So they were clearly, reading the same, papers and pamphlets that the ESPN crew had in their talking notes. Point being, there's back to what you're saying. I am very curious about, is it going to be Carr over Minchie going in third after Angeli? I don't know. I really don't know.
That's about all I got. But
Cool.
Thanks for having me up. Head to the Etsy store if it exists.
It does not. I don't think it does. I haven't checked in a while, but yeah, I got a strike from Notre Dame.
Am I going to lose my job then?
No. You will keep paying you as much as we're paying our next person, Coach Barsegian. So.
Thank God. Okay. All right. Have a good one, fellas.
You are still the director of marketing of the Fighting Irish Faithful show. If I need to make like a graph, like
an org chart.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone who works for a big company, like an org chart, it's like, okay, the founder of the show, that's me, and then I'm like Red Snapper's like dotted lined to me, right, as co-host, and then under me but dotted lined is also Jason Dos Leprechauns, master of the Dos Leprechauns universe. But underneath that, we've got a secretary of defense, we got a director of marketing, we have a chief of staff. I think what we gave Adam Dowling something. It was like director of podcast development or something to that effect. I don't know what, but
it's PDD is what that's his title. PDD, right? Podcast development.
Adam is a big man. He was eating crow. He came on and said that he was right. I was or excuse me, that I was right, he was wrong, stuff like that. And I'm like, look, I don't say stuff to, point at my friends and say that I'm right and they're wrong. That's not my style. Now, if you're a USC fan or some LSU nut job, then maybe. But people who are loyal to the show, I won't do that. So, all right, Uncle June.
All right, fellas. We'll see you later.
All right, have a good one. At Justin Cates on the X. Thank you so much. Coach Barsegian, wasting no time. We're going to try to get you in earlier, not have you be last as has happened before. So, Coach Barsegian, bring you on at 10:18 p.m. Eastern Time.
What's up?
Yo, Coach.
Coach, how are you?
Two-time national champion Coach. What's your reflection after one game of the Irish? I know we got a little bit of that in the Saturday show, but where do we go heading into Northern Illinois, or do we better fucking do better?
Well, we'll obviously do better. And shout out to Red Snapper. Thank you for approving my Facebook friend request recently.
Nice. I'm hardly on Facebook. Red Snapper's way more. You have to hunt real hard to find me on Facebook.
Well, if he thinks about it a little bit, he'll be able to put two and two together and figure out who I am. But anyway, Leonard will obviously do better. I'm still not sold on him, particularly because, this is Northern Illinois. His next true test will probably be Louisville. Yeah. So we'll find out whether he's worth all that Purdue? NIL money.
Purdue is not a talented team we should be afraid of? What?
No.
I didn't think
Purdue.
So. It's Purdue.
Now, that's not to say Purdue can't pull a shocker, which they've had a tendency to do in years past, but it's Purdue.
It's a day game. It's not a night game or something like that, right? It just...
When is the last real time Purdue was a legitimate threat to seriously beat down Notre Dame like Tyrone Willingham's last year?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think we might have lost in 2007 to them.
Well, Notre Dame lost to almost everybody that year.
Well, that's my point, right? They're like, well, we beat you in 2000. Okay, fine. Yeah, so did everybody else. We lost to Navy in that same year, so don't think you're in some great. We lost by 14 points, right? 19-33, right? So, we lost it. There's actually some notable teams here. That schedule definitely was worse. We beat UCLA, which was fun, but Air Force beat Notre Dame by more than what Purdue beat us in 2007. Right? So, that's that. Anyway, Coach, any thoughts you have or advice for the team going into this Northern Illinois game, or just floor is yours?
I am curious to see what kind of Bill Belichick clipboard motivation Marcus Freeman pulls out for Northern Illinois.
Okay.
Because I've seen here and there about what he told his kickoff team before the start of the game, that everybody on game day picked A&M.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just like, yeah, we got this. It's over. And I'd really like to see what kind of motivation you need for Northern Illinois. But when's the last time NIU was a threat to anybody?
Yeah, I don't know anything about the history of them. I know they've had a couple of halfway decent seasons, not recently under their current staff here under Thomas Hammock. But I will say this: this is the first meeting between Notre Dame and Northern Illinois, per my source. So that's interesting. We've never played them, but look, Northern Illinois, Thomas Hammock, this is his 6th year. Okay, he's 1-0 this season. Great, so are we. But you played Western Illinois. We played at Texas A&M. But Hammock is a 43% win percentage, so he is not good. Last year was his first quote unquote winning record. They went 7-6. They won the Camellia Bowl or something, right? I hear some baseball action going on in the background.
Yeah, I'm watching the Yankees play the Rangers.
Oh, okay.
Which,
all right.
by the way, I need 5'0" Pod to tell me his opinion on Jason Dominguez not getting called up.
All right, we're gonna invite 5'0" Pod so he can respond to you, Coach. But I'm only bringing him on because he's my friend, and B, you're a 2-time national champion coach. So if neither of those two things were going on, we would not be allowing this to happen. I mean, Coach, you're my friend too, I guess. But like, I am inviting you to my house on your drive up from Alabama. But 5'0" Pod apparently doesn't want to talk to you. Or maybe he's just listening because he's got children, or he's working, or maybe he's down at the the Comfort Inn Suites, Homewood Suites, grabbing some free beer. I don't know what it is.
He's probably battling his Wi-Fi right now, is what it is.
No, the free beer is tomorrow night, which is when I'm going to do my recap.
Oh, I have yet to listen to one of your shows.
Yeah, you're good. I'm way behind. But it's funny. I didn't do a show for almost 9 months, and then I did 3 in a row, which was different.
Good.
But
grief.
okay,
Talk about cramming.
Yeah, it's weird. When you don't think you have time, you find a way to make time when time is required. So, but hey, Coach,
I am not putting
I don't
that on
know.
a T-shirt. Okay, it's not as witty as
Sure.
the shit that Wookiee comes up with. Okay.
It's a lot of words. But let me answer Coach here. The Dominguez thing. I'm gonna be honest.
I have to
I'm
mute him
indifferent.
right now because I do not want to
Go for
hear play-by-play of Coach Barsegian. I want to hear 5-0 Pod speak.
I'm indifferent on Dominguez getting not called back up. He needs to be called up. He does, but I say I'm indifferent because there were some things he did when he got called up the first time that I didn't really care for. In fact, you could argue one of the games we lost was because he didn't know what he was doing in left field. Got a ball that, without even thinking, he should have been coming up firing to home, but he's looking at 2. By the time he realizes there's a runner going home, it's late, game over. He didn't do anything over the top at the plate, but again, that was a small sample size. He probably should be called up, but I don't understand the drama. I don't understand the nonsense. I just know that we're sitting at tied for the best record in the majors, so I'll take it.
What are you talking about? You have a 58% win percentage. The Dodgers have a 60% win percentage.
Well, the National League is weak as hell anyway.
Let me see.
How did you come off mute? I just muted you. What?
Yeah.
I tapped the button.
Ah!
And
Sorry,
for the record,
we are
the American League East do anything. Just saying.
You guys are tied
Just
with
saying.
Baltimore right now, all right?
Well,
We don't have any pitching, so
yeah.
Well, and the
Welcome to
Dodgers
our
apparently don't know how to
Welcome to our
hit
thing.
in the postseason. Anyway, all right, this is the most baseball I want to talk
Anyway.
about on this show.
Yeah. But I gotta hear Coach's response to my Dominguez talk because he didn't give his.
This is my show,
well,
not
I would
your
like
show.
I would
5
like to
nothing
see
pod.
Dominguez be the DH more than Stanton right
Stop
now.
shouting in the
Way Stanton's
microphone. I gotta
striking.
turn your mic down here. Good God! All right. Enough of baseball. 5-0 Pod. Can we steer you over to the other Texas pastime, i.e., college football?
Of course.
Do you have clients and customers that are big Texas A&M people?
So I do, and it's so funny because I used to go into this one doctor's office and we would talk college football all the time. Ended last season knowing we opened up at A&M, and this is strictly coincidence. I'm not gonna say it's planned, but
You got tickets? Is that what you're gonna say?
no.
Oh. I would have been happy for you if that was the case.
In June or July, all of a sudden, his office started not doing you can talk to the staff, but you can't talk to the doctor, and
Okay.
they all of a sudden stopped doing lunches, and I was like, this is like prime time. Like, hey, we're about to play. Notre Dame's about to play A&M, So I haven't had a chance to talk to the guy since about before the summer even started.
I mean, it sounds like
So
COVID restrictions. No, you can't talk to our doctor.
well, exactly. It was very odd. And I'm like,
It's like a
wow,
bad dream. No, go away.
clearly he was afraid of Notre Dame. He didn't want to have me talk to him back there.
So wait,
But no,
have you made a call on that account yet? Like, hey, I gotta stop by. We got some new information we gotta share.
Not yet. I need to actually. We do have a new drug coming out. I can do that.
Yeah, make that account, man. Just make a point. Like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah,
can you get like a Sharpie? And I don't know if you go out samples, but can you like, because Red Snapper, our dad, he used to he was a pharmaceutical sales rep, so he would go in and stuff. But so this is probably not ethical, but could you get like a Sharpie and like discreetly write the score on the bottom of the samples, not on the expiration date, but just like in a like kind of a blank spot? Like, can you do that?
well, I don't have samples to do that. So
You don't have samples? What?
No, it's ADHD amphetamines, dude. That's
Oh.
illegal.
Oh,
It's
I
controlled
don't know
substance.
what you're giving out. What kind of drugs
Yeah,
you're
no,
dealing with?
It's a controlled substance.
You have
Can't do it.
you have a business suit and a briefcase. All right, you take those away, you're just a street drug dealer. Okay, like
Exactly.
especially what you're apparently
Dude.
giving out.
I need that hookup. I've got narcolepsy, so I need some of them amphetamines, brother.
Maybe you should talk to Wookie. I don't know.
It's a
This
good
is
crowd.
not the podcast I want, talking about chemistry and baseball. Okay.
But to answer your question, my last two managers were A&M graduates, and the old manager, I sent him a message, and with what I was wearing, I was like, "Hey, good luck tonight," and I'm decked out in Notre Dame shit with a leprechaun hat. But then my current manager, I specifically didn't say anything because like I want her to still like me. She's pretty new, and I don't want to get off on the wrong foot. But then one of the assistant coaches for my
This
son's baseball
podcast will
team-
not help you with that image.
Oh no, not at all. I made some bets with A&M people. I won some money. It was enjoyable.
Ooh. I only know one person who went to Texas A&M, and it's someone who is a decent person, so I don't want to like be an asshole to her. It's a coworker, but I'm also like, I feel like I need to represent, so I think I'll send her an email or something, and I don't know, picture of Marcus Freeman or something. I don't know. Like we'll find it.
There you go.
What are your thoughts of the game? 5'0" pod, Texas A&M. Clearly you're happy with the win, but what is your constructive criticism? And you don't need to blow your wad on your show, that you're gonna record, but maybe you can give people a teaser, a taste, a sample of what's in store for your next episode.
Ooh, I like that.
Right?
Yeah. See how I did that? See how I rolled that? Yeah.
I definitely liked the defense, but that was not a surprise. Which, something I will talk about is I don't know what the hell these media heads were. The only thing they brought up that was, and it's not even a real thing. It is a real thing, but it's not a real thing to me. Is
Crowd.
It's South Texas. It's the heat. It's Kyle Field. It's loud. It's the 12th man.
Yep.
It's the traditions.
That's
it's
it.
this. It's
That's
that.
it.
I'm like,
nothing else.
I'm just curious. At what point are you going to talk about the actual physical, living, breathing players on the field that are going to actually play the game?
Nope.
They never did.
They never did.
And
none of them did.
And nobody talked about Notre Dame's defense. Everybody talked about Elko and
we did on this show.
Kid, and he was this and he was that. It was really funny to me that the one thing I knew going into that game, the only thing I knew was Notre Dame's defense was going to show up. I didn't know what A&M's defense would look like, only because it's now under Elko's regime. I had no idea what either offense would look like because new coordinators. Notre Dame has a lot of new pieces. Both offensive lines were either transfers or brand new starters, like Notre Dame with 6 total starts. All these question marks. The only thing I knew was the defense, and none of the media heads fucking talked about it, and it made no sense to me. I'm like, how in the world can you look at this game and have a one constant, which returned 8 to 9 starters, depending on how you want to view starting positions from last year,
Yep.
same coordinator for the last 3 years, same head coach, and be like, nah, I'm not even talking about that. That's irrelevant to this game.
So
Like, what?
yeah, and and I sense there's going to be a great rant with free beer that is in store for your listeners, which I'm really excited now to listen to. This was my take on this. Number one, either they're dumb, which I don't think they are per se. I mean, I don't want to read into that, but look, college game day or these people who are picking this, they work for ESPN, ABC. They are running the game. They're trying to promote the game. Ergo, their job is to promote the game and the environment and where the game is happening. It is not necessarily to be objective with evidence, with facts, data, and information, etc. And I don't remember what minute of my show I made this comment, but I'm like, this is what they're doing. They're here to promote their own product. They're not here to be objective. That is not what they do. They are pundits. They support ESPN, and it's some home cooking to their own product. So that and we saw that. That was the evidence, and you just laid out everything about what they talked about. It was nothing football X's and O's related at all. And they clearly got it wrong. Vegas clearly got it wrong by a long shot. Notre Dame, their defense dominated, which is funny because us as Notre Dame fans, we've been hurt before, and then it's one of those things where it's like, well, wait, are we really that good, or is Texas A&M really that bad? And so
Okay, so go ahead.
no, that was it. That's
So,
the deep, scary question out there, right?
and here's the thing.
Because if Notre
might
Dame is
very
really
well-
that good and Texas A&M has a really good season, okay, then we look really good. But if Texas A&M has like a sub 500, just plus 500 record with a new head coach, then like that was our toughest game, and what's in store for us, down the road, like that's the
It's gonna be interesting to see how their SEC season plays out. And the better they do, even if they're 500 in conference, that's still going to help us with strength of schedule and everything else because of our win. So, yeah.
I mean, if
do
they don't
see
clean a
kind
bunch of shit up, quite frankly, not that I'm trying to promote the other opponent, but I mean, that's what we're talking about. If they have some serious things they need to sort out. Again, Notre Dame is very good, especially on defense, but I mean, they had nothing on the passing game. It was awful. Like, and I gave a bunch of constructive criticism to Riley Leonard a couple weeks ago, and I was like, shit, he looked way the fuck better than Wegman.
Well, the thing that so is A&M worse than we thought? Is Notre Dame? However you want to view that. What I can tell you is Notre Dame's probably going to be the best defense A&M sees all season. I know they're in the SEC, but there is a very good chance that is the best defense A&M plays all season.
Yep.
I don't think Wegman is overly special. But what I can say, it is week one. It was deemed as a tough opponent. And when you look at the defensive side, Notre Dame did everything you'd expect them to do. Offensively, I do think that was super conservative, and they used Riley Leonard's legs more than I think I would like, just for health and safety reasons.
Yeah.
But if you're thinking about it, what is the safest bet? Riley Leonard's legs and Jeremiah Love's legs, or just throwing it all over the yard and seeing what happens? So I think the lack of big plays and whatnot is more a product of a mostly conservative play calling situation.
I agree.
There were still aggressive moments, not necessarily the play call per se, but just going for it on fourth down and converting, realizing you have a guy like Riley Leonard who is a powerful downhill runner, and get in the ball, pull out the guard and the tackle, and bing, bang, boom, you got a first down.
Yeah.
I don't know you're going to see that all the time. So, but good news is we got Northern Illinois, Purdue, Miami, Ohio. We can figure out the passing game and get some fluidity there. So I just think there's some things we have to take into account looking at Notre Dame's offense versus A&M, because the idea was A&M had a very good defensive line, so you were trying to minimize their impact. Because if you send Riley Leonard back to drop a bunch of times, the likelihood of him getting sacked is greater.
Well, I'm with you, and I feel like the catch by Collins to keep the chains moving that led to ultimately to the Love touchdown, right, was great. I felt like the passing game evolved and improved as the game went on. You know, I haven't done the breakdown. This would, unless Red Snapper wants to go off and do this real quick. This is where I need an intern to I can quickly slide him a post-it and go grab some statistics and throw them over to me when I think of them on the fly. But I'd be very curious to know how Riley Leonard's passing completion percentage and yardage improved as the game went on, either by quarter or by half. I think that would be interesting to see. Is it a function of him settling into the game, letting the game come to him, or a function of the play calls? I would. You'd have to go back and watch film to know. Okay, this was a passing play. This is what happened. Like that, it would take way too much time to look at, and I am not afforded to do that right now with my current profession. So maybe it's a function that we'd have to get more video here and monetize this bitch, but that's not what's happening. So
the last thing I'll say is you can get some other people on here. The last thing I'll say is off of what you just said, I think that speaks more to what people noticed and talked about. Notre Dame was the better conditioned team in two different aspects.
100%.
Well, one was, I think we were just better conditioned in general, but Notre Dame's depth showed up. We were better conditioned because we didn't have to be we had depth, so we can rotate guys and keep them a little more fresh.
48 minutes. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. But we were, in general, better conditioned. You saw it throughout the game. That was the difference, and I don't know if that means or plays into why Riley Leonard looked better in the end of the third quarter and fourth quarters, but it definitely was obvious by game's end that, oddly enough, the team that was supposed to struggle in those conditions was the team that was actually holding their own.
I mean, nine people caught the ball at Notre Dame from a receiving standpoint, and we had 21, 22 guys make a contribution on defense, from a tackle, standpoint, right? So that shows that, we're cycling people in and out, right? I think that speaks brilliantly to what you're talking about.
And we're not throwing up on the field. Like Connor Wegman.
Did he throw up on the field? I saw a lot of linemen go down like they just sustained some sort of freak soccer in injury.
Wegman threw all the way up.
Was it? Oh, I do recall that. I saw that on a slow-mo promo, which I thought was inappropriate. Was that like fatigue or whatever, heat exhaustion, or was that some sort of like I'm nervous, what's Doug Dorsey in the Cutting Edge,
I don't know, but having played football and having thrown up, it's one of three things. It's you're nervous, you are exhausted, it's hot, it's Texas, or the third is you were hungover from the night before. I don't know which one it is, but I find it interesting that all the hype was nothing about the players, but the environment and the heat and this, that, and the other. And the one who got rattled and threw up was A&M's quarterback.
Yeah.
So
before every race, I used to run track in high school, right? Who didn't? But I was a distance runner, so mile 800. 800 is my race, 800 meters. But yeah, before every race, I wouldn't throw up, but I pissed my pants a little bit.
There you go.
I told that to the doc, I don't know, we were engaged or something. She's like, ew, gross. I'm like, what? Did you ever run track? And it's like we're not gonna go there with her, but it's like, look, it's just nerves. It's just like you just got to relax, and like that's all you can do, and like no one's gonna see anything, and even if they do, who cares? It's just a little bit, like whatever. Okay, TMI, too much we're talking about.
Right?
For more.
And we've come full circle on the potty training. Here we go.
Oh my gosh, it's.
There you go.
I've done a lot of laundry. I'll just put it that way. So, yeah. 5-0 pod. He's gonna record some stuff. Maybe a shout out from the Yankees. I don't know. I feel like we left Coach Parsegian behind. I'm not sure what happened. He basically brought you on, but he's watching the Yankees. He's in his happy place. It's fine. He won't be watching them in late October. That's all I have to say. So.
What do you mean? All right. No.
That's some trash talk.
We're still winning, by the way. We're still winning.
That's fine. Okay. Who you playing?
Rangers. The defending World Series champions, Rangers.
Fine. Okay. All right. Point to you. Okay.
All right.
Ask me if I care. All right.
You don't.
Moving on.
Joe. Let's get to some other people.
All right. Let's go to Justin Roush. He's been patiently waiting since the beginning. Gosh, we got tons of people. I think we're going to just try to give everyone like 5-10 minutes max. Justin Roush, we invite you to speak. Jason Yeager, longtime supporter of the show, but not always available. Maybe the kids are in bed. I don't know. Let's go. Somebody. If not, I'm going to go over to the Secretary of Defense.
I was going to say, I'd love to see him.
I would love to get the Secretary of Defense's opinion on Notre Dame versus Texas A&M. While we wait for other people to get on, I've actually had this queued up for a bit here. Did anyone catch this?
We're sitting here again talking about the same things. About not finishing when you have an opponent in a position to put them away.
Did you really just play a BK bite?
No, that's actually Brian Kelly after a Notre Dame game, versus no. But
I honestly feel like Notre Dame fans were saying that for 12 years after every big game with him.
It's so funny. It's like, this is like deja vu. It's like, I swear I've heard him say this shit over and over again. And it's like it's so funny. Red Snapper, you clearly weren't on this conversation, but I got a call from mom and dad, and they were literally in a conundrum. They're like, who are we cheering for tonight? LSU or USC? I'm like, well, you don't even have to watch the game, honestly. You could just hope for a comet to come and hit the stadium. But it's like, no, like I hate USC, and though I have issues with Kelly, I don't hate Kelly, right? Here's my opinion on Kelly. He accumulated a lot of wins, and he clearly improved Notre Dame's program from where it was at the end of the 2009 season to where it was when Marcus Freeman picked it up. Okay, so if you look at from the beginning to the end, it's clearly better, number one. Number two, there was a huge growth of other stuff, and I'm using mad air quotes on the stuff. Stadium redone, Under Armour, turf, the helmets shine, dealing with the beginning of the NIL era, per se, and all these things, right, that Kelly had to kind of like shepherd away, from khaki helmets to natural grass to no Jumbotron, like all these things that he had to kind of be a part of in that like transition from the old guard of Notre Dame to the modern day, whatever. Okay, fair. And I'm grateful to Kelly to being part of that transition of Notre Dame that makes a lot of the old, curmudgeon-y people very uncomfortable, that they have to use their phone to get into Notre Dame Stadium rather than a paper ticket, right? When they whip out a crossword in the stadium. That being said, though, I don't hate Kelly. My problem with him was number one, I thought he should have been fired in 2016, but go back to an older show about that unless I drink more scotch and people ask me questions, then shit is on. But that being said, my problem with him was the lack of execution when it really mattered. There's a couple of games here and there where it was decent, Oklahoma 2012, Clemson 2020, shit like that, right? Beating Miami soundly in the twice, in the Sun Bowl, but then also in 2012 in against Al Golden, believe it or not. But then you piss the bed against Miami down in Hard Rock in 2017 with 33 trucking, which did nothing. And no offense to Josh Adams, but it's like there were these moments of stupidity, quite frankly, with him, and then every time it was a big game that seemed to really matter, it just didn't happen with him. Especially on the road or a neutral site, and especially a bowl game, right? And so going into the 2021 season, where after the regular season, after we beat Stanford, right, we go out and he does his recruiting thing, and then it gets leaked that he's taking the LSU job, right? Like that was disappointing, quite frankly, to hear. And then for it then to come around, and then he just leaves, and it's like I was pissed, because it's like, look, I would rather, look, you want to take the LSU job, take the LSU job. I'm kind of surprised it's happened. I'm surprised it's happening at this point in your career at Notre Dame. But you want to take the LSU job, take the LSU job. What I would prefer, and this is kind of my MO for not only coaches but for players too, this is pre-playoff expansion. But look, go to the bowl game, and it's the New Year's Six Bowl. It's Fiesta Bowl, right? It's not the Camellia Bowl, right? Go to the bowl game, stick it out through the season and the bowl game to those players that you coach, because I think you owe it to them, not to the fans. You owe it to the players. You owe it to those guys. I mean, Grant, I would love to have a New Year's Six win, but coach that game, end on a positive note, and then say, hey, after this game, I'm taking the new job. Okay, and I think he would leave with a little more dignity and class if he had done it that way. Leave on a high note rather than in the way it happened. And so that's one of my beefs with him. Now that he's at LSU, I'm like, okay, LSU, like, there's no evidence here. Like, look, we talked earlier about the pundits of ESPN saying, oh, they're talking nonsense about Notre Dame losing at Kyle Field because of the noise and the size of the American flag and, this, that, or the other. It has nothing to do with X's and O's. Same with BK. It's like, look at his record in big games. It's not good. Like, look at what he did over here at Cincinnati and Notre Dame. And it's like, when it really mattered, it didn't pan out. Like, he's a win aggregator. That doesn't mean he's a bad coach, but it doesn't mean he's a great coach either. And that's one of the sticking points with me and him. Again, grateful for a lot of the things he did, but peace be with you. Go on, and those fans down in LSU are fucking pissed. They are pissed of the result, quite frankly. And I'm not sympathizing with them, because a lot of them are nut jobs and a-holes, right? And so I'm kind of like, hey, you reap what you sow. But at the same time, it's like, well, I'll go grab my bowl of popcorn over here and watch this, watch the world burn down in Baton Rouge.
Definitely one of the funnier things this weekend to watch.
It's crazy, and to be fair, go full circle to the conversation I had with our folks, Red Snapper. I said, look, I'm not going to tell you, mom and dad, what to do, but there's no way I'm going to cheer for USC. Like, absolutely not. They'd have to be playing like Satan for me to cheer for them. Like, it's that level, like ISIS,
Michigan?
No,
Michigan?
I don't think I'd even watch the game, if it was Michigan. But like part of me would rather have Michigan win. I don't know, in some weird way. But like that, don't ask me that question. To ask the teams in my tier 1 teams are USC number 1, 2 Michigan, number 3 Miami. Fuck those teams. And if they play each other, I'm not gonna watch it. Like. No, like, where are the comets? I'm going to be looking at astrology and, going on NASA's website. Hey, is there anything going on? No. So I said I cannot cheer for USC. And in some weird twisted way, does it make Notre Dame look better if Kelly wins? I don't know. Like, maybe someone's brain could be bent that way. Who knows? But that's where I'm at with that. I don't want to spend too much more time on BK, but
Hey, Joe.
I thought the fist pound was funny. What's up, Justin Roush?
Am I allowed to get in now?
Oh, dude, you could have jumped in at any time.
Well, I just was being patient. I love the BK talk.
You like the
wish
BK
Dowling was
rant?
on.
Let him go. Let him go.
Dowling and I have gone on X left and right about it because I'm with you. I'm like, hey man, when this guy took over, this place was a mess. It was a complete mess. We had, we didn't even have a sound system the first time I went to a Notre Dame game. I'll be honest with you, I was kind of bored. The first Notre Dame game I ever went to.
I was a student,
I'm
so I'm. There's a lot of foggy games. I'm like, did we play that team? I don't know. I do remember seeing Golden Tate live jump into the Michigan State band. That game I was very coherent for, because at the time as a fan, I hated playing Michigan State. Planting the flag and all that. Oh gosh, I just get anxiety thinking about that kind of stuff. So that moment of Weiss and my time as a student is very clear, but many of those games are kind of a blur. So if the sound stage or sound system in Notre Dame Stadium is off, like kind of what you're talking about, that doesn't surprise me, because they're definitely pumping a lot more, the canned music, the pump you up hip hop, whatever you got, right?
Yeah, I mean, the first time I went to Notre Dame game was 2008, September. It was the opening game against Purdue, and it literally felt like I was at a high school game right here in Colorado. Like, it was just like, this is weak, man. This is not what I wanted it to be. And the last game I went to was 2 years ago against USC. What is it, 2020? I guess 2022 USC. I was like, this is different, right?
Yeah.
Now we have the turf. Yeah. Now we have a big screen. I mean, the guy took the program to a different level. Yeah, he couldn't get the big game done. I get that. And Dowling and I go after each other on that. We don't have to talk about BK anymore.
I mean,
but anyway.
Can I respond to what you're saying? Because, I'm not saying you're wrong. Like, I think the Jumbotron is not a detriment. I do think that the piped in music is, it's fun, it's exciting, and it kind of, I do wish they did something different on third down, because that just gets annoying hearing that all the time. But when we're on defense, but I will say this, and this is something Adam and I think agree on with respect to how do I put this? When the team is doing well, the fans are up at Notre Dame, right? When it's a big opponent, the fans are up at Notre Dame. When you're playing, San Diego State or some of these other, Nevada, Northern Illinois, right? It's a little sleepy, I mean, I was at the Marshall game. We don't need to go there, but oh, fuck. I get some night terrors from that. I'm looking for a bottle of Jameson when I think of that game. But the fans at the time, you talk about 2008, right? We had just come off of a 3-9 season. We retained our coach. Now, fortunately, we had Clausen, which I think was a bright spot. We had Tate and some of these other guys, was it Rudolph? I think Rudolph was on the team at the time.
Michael Floyd.
No, Floyd, I don't think was there that year. I think 2009 was
he
his
done?
first year. No. I think it was a freshman
he hadn't even
in
came yet,
2009.
yeah.
Yeah, that's my point, right? Manti Te'o was a freshman in 2008. I do recall that. But the or was it 2009? Fuck, things are getting a blur. But the point being, no, it would have been 2009 because he was a senior in 2012. The I think that like you're like if the fans are excited about the play on the field and that the team is putting a product and a high quality, level of play out there, from statistics to the wow factor to just execution. Yeah, people are going to get excited and get pumped up when it's, we're having do you remember when Kelly was the coach and we were calling timeout on our first series on offense?
I can see his face right now.
I'm just like, it's the first play of the game on offense. Just run a play. Oh man, the defense is showing something completely different. I don't know what to do. Call timeout. I was in high school, right? It's just is apples and oranges here. But I remember when I was playing, you go out there as a starter. I don't know what other teams did, but our coach said, all right, first series, these are our first 3 plays. It doesn't matter if we get a first down or we go all the way to third down. Okay. Maybe if we get third down, then, we'll change the play. But we're going to run this play, then we're going to run this play, and then we're going to run this play. And we had calls, we had signals from our quarterback that we knew what it was, like the code, right? And he would call it out to remind us, all right, we're running this play. Then the next we'd line up immediately and and the whole point was building momentum. It when Notre Dame would come out on their first series and a delay of game or a fucking timeout, I'm like, this is irritating.
Yeah. Anyway, we need to carry on BK, but
no, it's. I mean, I
jacked.
brought it up, so
I'm super jacked just about going out there, knowing we had a freshman left tackle. I had some concerns, but I thought they handled themselves very well overall. Now, I texted you the other day, and I was like, dude, we complete a pass over 20 yards. So we covered this earlier on, and that's right now. I just need to see this passing game grow better because I know we're going to have great defense. We've established that. The running game needs to continue to do what it's doing. But I do think that it is important for us to be able to push the ball down the field later in the year when things matter. So that was my only concern, takeaway from the game, that I was like, left a bad feeling in my stomach.
Yeah. Do you think that the passing game needs to show massive improvement versus Northern Illinois?
No, I wouldn't say massive, but I need to be able to see us push it a little. I mean, I'll be on this podcast next week if we look the same way through the air, for sure.
True that.
Yeah.
True that.
Yeah. So no, I just need to see it continuously improve throughout the year. And we have, relatively unknown receivers, and I think it'll get better, but I'm just concerned talking about the numbers you talked about 2 weeks ago, where you're like, hey, our completion percentage needs to be this. All those numbers you talked about, that is at a national championship level. We need to. I hope to see that improvement.
68.5% is the completion percentage that is average of national champions over the last 10 years. Last year was one of the better years for Notre Dame, 64.7%. We were 60% versus Texas A&M. So there is opportunity for improvement. Now, our opponent, Northern Illinois, do you know what their completion percentage was? Pop quiz. It's higher than national champion average.
Are you talking about last week or just?
Yeah, last week. I mean, they played one
Oh.
game, right? So yeah, what
I'm
they
sure-
do versus the Leathernecks of Western Illinois.
No, I'm sure they chucked it around a bunch. I don't know. I'll say 75%.
Close, 79%.
Okay.
It's really, really, really high. Yeah, they had 5 passing touchdowns, so that's like okay. That was, I mean, look, it's Western Illinois. They're like a D2 school, right? You know, it's not. It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't. So a lot of the statistics for our opponent, if I was picking teams based off of the numbers of last week, I mean, clearly I would go with, Northern Illinois, but then I take into account, well, who did you play? What's the environment? There's a bunch of other things that have to go into the theorem here, and it's no, like, look, I'll say this: if Northern Illinois puts up 5 passing touchdowns against Notre Dame this weekend, we have a serious problem because that was not the case versus versus.
But honest
Notre Dame.
question though, like
Over,
to my question,
under number of
how many
interceptions.
balls? How many did we have? Any completions over 20 yards?
Great question. Look, now when you say that, do you mean through the air or like yards after a catch too? Because the usual statistics are include the yards after the catch, and if
okay, give me.
And if
okay.
if that's the case, which is what I have in front of me, thank you ESPN, despite the fact that I talk shit about you all the time, but I like how you lay out your stats. Bo Collins did have a long of 20 yards. Now, did he catch it at 20 yards and run out of bounds, or did he catch it at the 3-yard and run for 17? Like, those are two very different things,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, but is that our longest catch, 20 yards?
That is the long. The team long was 20 yards to Bo Collins, our leading receiver, who only had 62 yards. So then you take that away, he's averaging 10 yards-ish and change on the other 4 carries, which isn't bad, like it's a first down, obviously. But Bo Collins averages 12.4 yards per carry. Where's my brain? Per reception. But for me, the biggest thing that needs to happen is we need passing touchdowns. We need to get these guys in the end zone. We need Riley Leonard to throw it downfield, not do swing passes on 3rd and long. Like we shouldn't. It would be, I would hope that every 3rd down is 3rd and short. It's not 3rd and long. If it's 3rd and long against Northern Illinois. Please.
Well, over the next few weeks, I'll be paying attention to that to see not just the short passes like you talk about that are 10 yards that go for 30, which I expect to happen against Northern Illinois, right? But I want to see Denbrock. I want to see us scheme some stuff to where we're completing the ball 15, 20 yards down the field, because I think that's going to matter at some point. I think it will.
Yeah.
So thanks for having me on, dude. I appreciate you.
No, appreciate it, Justin Roush. Really excited to. If we fast forward, what are your thoughts for the rest of the season? What are you looking forward to the rest of the season beyond this game?
Well, obviously, I think we've set ourselves up for. I mean, I hate to say this, but I don't see anyone that's better than us.
No, you can say that. You can say that.
I don't see anyone that's better than us on the rest of the schedule.
That is 100% correct.
I think USC.
I did that on purpose. I'm teeing you up.
Won a game today. I think we're in the college football playoff if we play the way we're supposed to play, right? Even if we go undefeated, maybe we lose a tight one at USC. It doesn't matter. We are in this playoff, and we absolutely have a chance to win this whole fucking thing. I'm 100%.
Bold words. Do you? Not that I'm saying you're wrong. I just that's a bold statement after 1 week, which is good, right? So you mentioned
I think
USC. Spoiler alert: they are the per team rankings.com the quote unquote hardest game left.
Yeah.
Notre Dame though is still favored by 60.8%. This is that was the number 2 game. Number 1 is Texas A&M. This is number 2. After that, it's Louisville at home, 71%. Then Purdue, believe it or not, 84% at Ross-Ade, which is funny. I'll be at the Purdue game, but yeah, the USC thing. I will say this, and I said this I think in our post game show. Not that I would want this to happen, but it's kind of more the optics of things. It would be quote unquote better for Notre Dame in the grand scheme, vision, what have you, to lose this first game on the road, then go 11-0 the remaining 11 games, and finish the regular season 11-1 with a win in Southern Cal, with an 11-1 record, versus going 11-0 and then losing that last one at SC, because now that's fresh in everyone's minds, right? Like, oh,
Yes.
this is, like it's the same record numerically, statistically, it's the same, but it's the frequency and the freshness effect, right? Which in this case is a defect, right? It's a stain that's right in front of your face that it's very difficult to ignore.
Recency bias.
It is the recency bias, and so that makes the USC game. I don't want to say it's a scary game, but it's that thing that's out there, and it's like, okay, we'll let it be out there after week 1. I mean, USC, did they win because USC is so great, or that LSU is shittily coached by Kelly? It may be a little bit of both. Okay. USC's quarterback is crying on national television. That doesn't surprise me, because he's away from the beach. He misses the beach. I don't know. Like,
But what I'm trying to get, either way, yeah, you're right. The recency bias could be a problem, but I truly think this team is already set up. And your question was for the rest of the year. This team is set up to be in this, right? And I think they're good enough, and they will be good enough to win that first round game. So now we have to be.
I hope so.
Right? I truly believe it. I do.
And no doubt. Like, but so that's funny. Like, I've been toying about whether I want to talk about this or not, but you kind of teed me up. So I do already have a hotel booked in South Bend for that playoff game. Okay.
Yeah.
I am planning to be there that weekend, whether it's a Friday game or one of those Saturday games, we don't know. That being said, though, it can happen, and right now we have planned around it. Like, I'm already planning to take time off of work, quite frankly.
Okay.
Because I looked at the schedule and I was like, look, I think that Notre Dame can still be in this and to be hosting that first round playoff game. So that being said, I agree with you, Justin, that Notre Dame will get up there, and I'll see 2 games in South Bend this year. The Stanford game, obviously with our group, and then this playoff game. Now, I don't have tickets. I don't have any of that shit yet, right? But we'll figure that out later when it becomes reality.
And you will, my friend. I'm telling you right now, you will be there, and they will have a game.
I've started to as this podcast grows, as time goes on, you start meeting and rubbing shoulders with a few other people, and I'm not going to go into details, but it's just, there's opportunity that's there, anything from season ticket holders to other alums or whatever. And that's not because I'm so great. It's just this is my 5th year doing this. Okay. Like, this is episode 127. Okay. Of podcasting, right? Like, we've done this a few times. I'm excited for that opportunity for Notre Dame to be one of those host teams in the first inaugural, 12-team playoff. However, if I go back to Joe from 4 years ago and what really made me tick and what was really bothering me about our program is the fact that we haven't won a New Year's Six Bowl since the 1994 Cotton Bowl, and that's January of 94, i.e. the 1993 Notre Dame season. So it's been 30 years, okay? It's been a long-ass time for Notre Dame to win a bowl game that really means anything. And so I'm not overlooking a home playoff win because it's a playoff game in the new format. I'm more interested in when Notre Dame advances, which they should advance. I'm with you. They should advance. Go into that next game because that's like the real like New Year's Six style game, right? Like if we get matched up against, I don't know, pick a a 12 ranked team or a 10th ranked team. I don't, who knows what it is, like in Arizona, for example, right? Like let's just pick that. That's not so interesting. But then, say you go and play, Ohio State in the Fiesta Bowl and you win, that looks way different. Okay. So for me, this season, and maybe there's a little bit of year 3 Marcus Freeman, I'll be very honest with everybody. I'm expecting more than I'm already looking beyond the regular season. And not that I'm overlooking our opponents in the regular season, because we'll keep doing our analysis. For me as a fan, what I'm looking for and what I want is Notre Dame to get to that quarterfinal and win a fucking quarterfinal. I clearly want us to win the whole thing, right? Like, okay, let's never question that. But for what I need as a fan is to win a game that fucking matters. And okay, you win a home playoff game, great. That's cool. You won a game in your own stadium in December. All right. It's probably going to be against, Mississippi or something. What I mean? A warm weather team, fine.
It'll probably be Penn State.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. And that would be cool to play Penn State. Like, I don't want to take anything away from playing a good team that also made the playoffs in our own. I don't want to take anything away from it. I'm just saying I want the next game as the floor for Marcus Freeman. As the floor.
Dude, I couldn't agree more, dude. I've been Mr. Pessimistic for so fucking long, and I decided this year, fuck it. This is it. Let's fucking do this.
Did I send you the highlight thing? I know I put it on X.
It's Magic Year 3, baby. Come on.
It is Year 3. All right, Justin Raj, I'll send you a DM here. I'm going to send you a video. You may not be able to sleep, so you may want to watch it when you wake up in the morning.
Okay.
But
good.
I'll tell you what, I wanted to punch the fucking wall when I watched it. It was that like amping me up kind of a video, right? We won't play it, obviously. We're playing Northern Illinois. Why would I amp it up to level 11? No, we're not going to do that. So,
you know what the difference is right now, though? The difference that I have about what we're talking about, I don't have the worry that I did before with Kelly, with Weiss, with whoever. I'm not worried about Northern Illinois this weekend. Like in the past, I had this feeling. I feel like this team is going to be disciplined. They're going to do what they need to do, and we're going to win the games we're supposed to win.
Because they are coached by seasoned veteran coordinators.
Yeah, that is 100% correct.
That is the biggest thing that, I kind of responded to one of Dowling's tweets when he said, I was wrong about the O-line. And it's not the youth. Like, we're so used to, as Notre Dame fans, for the two youths. For the last 12 years, the coaching staff has been sporadic, spotty, inconsistent, and downright inept at times. And literally what it is we have coordinators who do their fucking job. And that's what it is. It's going to be, you've got Golden. You saw the improvement from year 1 to year 2. Now let's see the improvement with returners to year 3. Now we have Denbrock.
The year 3 thing to me is so huge, and the fact that ESPN ignored that completely and just said, "Oh yeah, Notre Dame's going to lose." You ignored our super experienced defense. Like you guys are dumbasses, and you did that on purpose. You did that as a bait and switch thing.
If I'm Al Golden, I'm using that as bulletin board material for that defense. We should be number 1 in every statistical category at the end of the year and run it through everybody's freaking throat.
Nice.
That literally the defense, number 1 in turnover margin, best, pass defense, best red zone defense, best scoring defense. They should literally be, their goal should be number 1 in every single statistical category.
I'm telling you right now, if Benjamin Morris and Xavier Watts were wearing a fucking Alabama helmet, it would be completely fucking different.
I agree.
Different.
I agree. Or even Ohio State.
Yeah, completely different.
But that's also a recency bias to the success of those teams. Notre Dame has not been a playoff contender. So we're dealing with time not on our side, recency not on our side. We have to demand the respect by commanding the respect.
What? Ooh.
I love it.
Wow, put that. Whoa. Wait, I'm writing that down.
Red snapper.
We're gonna start. Sorry, Wookie. We're making some inspirational red snapper quotes. Say that again.
You demand the respect by commanding the respect.
Demand.
In other words, you demand it through proving you deserve it.
Yep.
So, at this point, I use that as bulletin board material.
Fuck,
I'm glad they didn't
deep.
say anything. That would piss me the fuck off as a defense. I have 9 returning starters, and you don't mention one thing about us?
Yeah.
We had the greatest backfield at the end of last year.
We did.
With the 3rd best red zone defense. And you didn't say one peep about that? If I'm
Our defense was really good last year, which makes me really excited about this year.
I'm absolutely amping my guys up. I am amping my guys up. I want my defensive line just punching holes through and creating, coverage sacks. Our lockdown secondary should be able to create coverage sacks for our defensive line.
This show's ending a lot more exciting and intense than I thought it was going to end for Northern Illinois.
Hey, let me talk defense.
Damn. Demand respect by commanding respect. The wisdom of Red Snapper,
I love it. Hey guys, I'm still gonna hang on here, but I'll let you finish up. But thanks so much. Can't wait to see you guys at Stanford game.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm fucking pumped about this fucking football team.
It's gonna be great. I think what I'm gonna have to do is, since we're gonna have a fairly large size tailgate, we're gonna have people come from all over, people from White Lot, people from the neighborhood just east of campus where I'm telling people to park, where you can pay $20 to park on someone's lawn, right? And it's a 10-minute walk, or people who are whatever, taking an Uber. I think we're going to have to, in addition to the Stars and Stripes, I think we got to get a Fighting Irish Faithful flag flying up in the sky. People need a banner. People need a beacon to follow. So,
agreed.
More to come on that, and that'll help with the video thing. We could just hang a flag behind myself here in the studio, and we'll hide the doc's busy desk. That's a polite way of putting it.
Did you DM me, by the way?
I will. I'm gonna DM you the thing. Let me make a note here. I got distracted with Red Snapper's inspirational quotes here, like the kind with the black border. You know what I'm talking about? Like, demand respect by commanding respect. Like, quote Red Snapper. Oh man.
So by the way, I got my girlfriend Natalie in here. She's a new Irish
Okay,
fan.
I'm wondering who this Natalie person is here. It's like
Yeah.
Natalie's like she follows me. That's cool. She's or something like that. But then I'm like, maybe she's just listening
she's my beautiful girlfriend.
Okay.
She loves it. So she's been listening for the last month.
She just wants
I
to
told
hear
her,
your nice
you gotta-
voice.
you
She
gotta-
doesn't
you
give
gotta
two
get on
shits
this.
about scotch and spreadsheets. Now, if Natalie wants to jump on and talk about running the football and why she likes running the football better than passing, or the benefits of blast and counter over, sweeps, and
RPO.
dives, like we'll have those conversations with Natalie. But if that's not what she wants to do, she just wants to listen to Justin and just be part of the fun, because that's what we try to do. Look, it's 11:30 at
Run
night.
the damn ball.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
She says, "Run the damn ball." She gets it.
Hashtag
Yes.
RTDB. Excellent. All right. Excellent. Well, thank you, Natalie, for joining us. That was great. Lynch Mob, I see you here. And then Miss Zoom Zoom, if you want to jump on. Natalie can keep talking about running the damn football. Mac is jumping on. That means the baby's asleep on the West Coast.
Whoop, whoop.
It's 8:30. The baby better be asleep. Man, my kid was asleep before 8, okay? This is no reflection on you as a parent, Mac. But Lynch Mob, what's up, man?
Not much. What's up, fellas?
What's up,
you
brother and / coworker of Dos Leprechauns team?
That's right. The guy
So
that
so
falls
what's the
behind.
deal? We've got all these people on our Facebook page, the Dos Leprechauns Facebook page, but like the YouTube channel is like weak. We don't nearly have as many followers on X. I don't know. Is Facebook a more welcoming place? I don't know. I don't really care. I'm on there obviously just like you are, but that being said, what can we do as the Dos Leprechauns crew to
Well, I don't
promote
know.
Notre Dame
It's-
better this season, or
Right, on
what do we need to
pages.
talk about with Northern Illinois?
I don't know. I think we started mostly with Facebook, and then I don't even have any of the controls to the Instagram page or
We have an Instagram page? I don't have Instagram,
yeah.
so it doesn't matter.
yeah. So we have an Instagram page. So that just shows you how long Dos Leprechauns has been around.
Wait, does that mean I need to take selfies of myself in the studio? Like, hey, what's up? Look at this mic, like check out my mixer.
Right.
Hey Joe, real question though. Dos Leprechauns has his own thing. Like, what is this Dos Leprechauns Productions?
Dos Leprechauns is so he's been around. Clearly, he's a cheerleader in a good way of the program. We've got like 15,000, like some crazy amount of people that follow the Dos Leprechauns group on Facebook.
Okay.
So I think that's where it started. It's really Jason and his son Nate. Okay, hence the Dos Leprechauns, right? And they're from the SoCal area, which is kind of an appeal to me and Red Snapper, because we're both from the Southern California area. Well, Red Snapper still is. I'm the odd one, but the so we promote the university, the program, and it's primarily football, but there's a little bit of other sports that we promote. Now, me personally, not so much, but this show, me, Red Snapper, right, we were encouraged, invited, and asked to join them. Now, so we still do our show. We still, basically have our, some level of autonomy, but when I post things, I don't post it on the Fighting Irish Faithful YouTube channel, for example, which does exist, but I don't post there anymore. There's also a backstory behind why I don't post there anymore that Red Snapper knows, but that's more of a tailgating story that Red Snapper is not, he's on mute, so whatever. But it's a funny story. But anyway,
it's a great story, but it's definitely a tailgate story.
We are not talking about that on the show. But that being said, so that was kind of convenient more than anything. Just like, well, we're gonna post everything on the Dos Leprechauns YouTube channel. So and their channel was already more successful than my personal Fighting Irish Faithful YouTube channel. So I mean, if you want to subscribe to me, that's fine. But I'm not posting anything in there anymore because we agreed to join Dos Leprechauns and post things there and help them. And it was more like, it's like, look, we're Captain America over here, and he's like the Hulk over there. And it's like, well, why don't we just join teams and be together and be awesome together, and we'll start creating the Avengers. Now, maybe a Lynch Mob is the Hulk, or I don't know what Avenger he is. But maybe he's Tony Stark. We don't know. Or he's Thor.
Okay.
Is he Thor? But but that's kind of what it is. It's a bunch of, like, we got a guy named Benny who lives in southern Indiana. There's Jeff who lives just outside of Chicago. The Pat. There's a few other people that are in the crew that I'm in a text chain with, and half of it, I swear, is we're just making fun of Hendrix. But the other bit is, we're genuinely supportive of the program, supportive of Notre Dame. We have done promotions with, giveaways of signed jerseys or this, that, or the other. So there is stuff. You'll have to reach out to Jason at Dos Leprechauns of how he's trying to grow this. He is probably the Tony Stark of all of this. Or maybe he's Nick Fury. I don't know. But he doesn't look like Nick Fury at all. But that being, he needs an eye patch for that to work out. But no, it's
Halloween costume.
I
want to see a picture of
Hendrix as Nick Fury
for Halloween.
That will not go over well.
Hey, Red Snapper.
Yes, sir.
Are you gonna be at the Stanford game too?
I will be there.
Fucking A, dude. I'm so fucking jacked for this shit. Like,
we've got. I think it's safe to say who. I think we'll do a roll call here. The only people on this pod tonight, we invited Mac. Here, we'll bring Mac on to speak. And Coach Parsegian, who's back on mute. That's fine. Coach Parsegian will be there. Maybe he doesn't want me to say it, but too late.
Cat's out of the bag. Era Parsegian. This is fucking dope.
The Era Parsegian from Alabama will be there. I've got the whole list. We won't go into everyone's like zip code or whatever. Adam, who lives here in India with me. Jimmy Gallagher out in Oregon is coming. The Wookiee. Stevie D. Irish from Ireland is coming. My friend Dom and his dad. Our Secretary of Defense, Kevin Davis, he's coming. Dos Leprechauns, his son Nate. Jay Lehman, long time support. Pat Pello Jace is coming.
Sweet.
Coach Parsegian, Mrs. Parsegian, Officer Mrs. Parsegian, actually. Johnny Boxing is coming. Our statistical odds maker, Vegas Insider, is coming. Dr. Abby, our Secretary of State, is coming. Pat, part of the Dos Leprechauns universe, is coming. Mike Sloan is coming, even though he's a Kentucky fan in basketball, but that's fine. Craig, local of South Bend, and our first female contributor ever, MJV84, is basically bringing her entire family.
Whoop, whoop.
So I don't know what that says about her as a mom. No offense, MJV84, but
dude, I want to see Max rocking his hoodie.
I'm sure Max is going to be rocking a hoodie or something. But she actually was like, "Hey, where should we stay?" Da 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 da. So like I imagine they're having a nice family weekend, which is kind of that funny weird.
I kind of like 19, and Natalie's coming too.
Okay. Natalie's coming. Is she your plus one for?
Plus one.
My apologies.
Well,
I forgot that that you're in the different section. So my bad there.
So now we have. I think we got 20, dude.
There's more than that. I didn't include the plus ones, like for example, Dr. Abby's better half, Jay's better half, Kevin Davis's better half. Stuff like that.
Shit, we might have 30 fucking people.
We're having 34 people with tickets. I'll put it that way.
Whoa.
And the tailgate will be larger because I'm bringing the doc. I'm bringing the boys. We have other friends who are bringing their spouse and their children. Right. So there are people who will be at the tailgate that will not be going to the game. And it's a kids thing. Right. But, so it's going to be live. It's going to be great. North Lot.
Man, I'm so excited.
It's very exciting. We're really looking forward to it. And, yeah, it's a big group. I got to get like a X text chain, whatever, just to make sure logistically everyone knows where we are and this, that, or the other. So,
Joe, I'll be honest with you, man. I grew up in Denver, Colorado. The only thing in my life that gave me the most joy in the world was Notre Dame football.
Okay.
Like my dogs have been named Rudy.
Not skiing
Zippy.
or not geography and skiing and
No, dude. It was Notre Dame football. Like Notre Dame football has been my life. And I never imagined in my life that I was gonna fly out there and meet with 34 fucking people that just love Notre Dame football. Like this is the coolest fucking thing. Like it's so cool to me. I can't even tell you.
I'm really excited to do this. I won't lie. It has been work to get everybody organized, take care of, getting people their tickets and things of that nature. It is, and it is an effort by me to make those arrangements, and call the ticket office, whatever. Right. So it is a little more taxing than I thought it would be, but I will say this, you guys are worth it. This will be worth it. And the doc has been behind this 100%. She is looking forward to it. She's not going behind my back, but she's talking to our friends and she's like, oh, we got to get the boys, like I got little kids, right? They're one's 3 and one's under a year, so she's already getting stuff sorted there. It's going to be a great event. It's going to be a good cross diagonal slice between, family friendly kind of stuff because people are bringing their kids and just people that are wanting to have a good time and party with their friends on X, people that they know from a like a Twitter sphere and X, social media stand. But how many of these people have we met in real life? Like I can probably say I've met, almost half of these people, but I haven't met their spouse. Like Justin, you and I have never met in person.
No.
Let me put it another way. We joined Dos Leprechauns.
Mm-hmm.
I've never met him.
No shit.
We've spoken on the phone many times. We've seen pictures, whatever. I've never seen him in person.
He's gonna touch your butt.
Ew. Okay, and the doc will tomahawk chop him in the neck, right? Like it's.
I just can't. I can't wait to shake all your fucking hands and be like, fucking A, dude.
No, it's not going to be a handshake. It's going to be the end of fucking Top Gun where we see each other on the aircraft carrier and we like hug with screaming. Okay, that is my hope of what it's like. Okay.
Yeah.
But you have to keep both legs on the ground.
Okay.
Both legs on the ground.
I'm not sure what that means, but okay.
Well, it depends. If I'm holding my helmet in one arm and I lift you up with the other, sorry, it might happen. Might happen.
That's funny.
Dude, I can't wait. Hey, man, I appreciate all your hard work with this shit. This is fucking awesome.
No, it's going to be great, and it's worth it. And it's, if it crashes and burns with more Top Gun references, all right, we won't do this again. But if it's great,
we're going to have to get an epic Group photo though, because that photo would be.
I think we
fucking
need an
epic.
epic highlight video. Like everybody just take video. I have a Dropbox account. People can upload shit. Like large size files. We'll do some video editing. We'll put some fun music to it. I think that's what we should do. Honestly, let me make a note of that. Activate. I saw we have a thing on the fridge here, and I saw my wife talking something about a Dropbox. Now I don't know what she's planning to use that for, but activate.
Amazon packages.
No, that's not that. Activate Dropbox. No, I see that. That just comes straight out of the checking
Is your
account.
wife Dr. Abby?
No. Dr. Abby is the Secretary of State, or excuse me, the Chief of Staff. The doc is my wife.
The doc is your wife. Okay.
The doc, yeah, not to be confused with the Ohio State. No, she's a doctor of optometry. Activate Dropbox account. Videos, photos. Okay. Yeah. That's a great idea. We should do that because I was talking and thinking about that. Like, it's something I kind of want to do, but I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
But now you just planted the seed, and we could reactivate that. It's not that expensive. All right.
Mac,
I think we're good.
Jump on, man.
Mac, jump on. Natalie, jump back on. Talk about running the football. All right. But we're almost 2 hours in. Well, yeah, almost 2 hours in.
Owen.
Hey,
Mac, what's up? Welcome back.
good morning or good evening. Excuse
Good
me.
evening. It's not morning yet.
No.
Well, it depends where you are.
I rewatched
England.
the game. I rewatched the game, and one thing that jumped out because we kind of left that conversation. We kind of said this is going to be a defensive team, and the offense may not be explosive, but it's more of a when you have a defensive team, you really need to have field win. Oh gosh, where the ball is spotted, field
Line of scrimmage.
the line. Yeah. Well, just meaning making other. I don't know why I'm having a blank. Make the other team's drives longer, and so what I was a little concerned about is our punter really sucks, and so if you go,
These are nits you are picking.
I know. Well, but if you
Punting?
I
You're
think
breaking. There it is. Punting is bad. What?
Well, he was pretty bad. I'm just saying, like
He
when you
averaged
have a
42
defensive team
yards a punt.
on the roll.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but if you get a guy who could come up and return that and not
I get what you're saying. The field position game.
Field position, right? And when you have a defensive first team, you need to have good field position to support them. That's all I was saying. So we were talking about eventually you're going to have to play Georgia and stuff like that. I think stuff like that is important. That was one thing that I just noticed.
I like the fact that we're actually in a position to scrutinize the punting game and the field position game. Like we're talking about champagne problems. We're talking about a defense that's doing a great job. Offense has, some opportunities for growth and improvement, but I see that first year coordinator back, seasoned coordinator. So you saw the in-game, tweaks and transitions and adjustments that were made first half to second half. But to see that, from game to game with film study so that you improve yourself, and then going from week to week, getting the youth of the offensive line, some experience, some continuity, learning to work together. They're going to figure out pass blocking as a team. They're going to figure out how to scoop block and protect the quarterback, how to form the pocket around him so he feels comfortable. And that was probably the biggest opportunity in the passing game this last week was the pocket just caved a little too much because these guys aren't learning how to pass off blocks to each other. That's all going to come as the season progresses.
Hey, Mac, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
And
What's
you
up?
you brought this up, so you're kind of exposing yourself here, but I wouldn't be me if I didn't do this. If a team punted the ball and the team picked the opponent picked the ball up at the 21-yard line, is that bad?
I mean, it depends on circumstances, right?
No. You have the ball. All right, third long, you don't get it. Fourth down, you punt. And the opponent that you just punted to is at their own 21. Is that bad?
No, it's not horrible. I mean, depends where you punted from. If you punted from your own 45, 50, you'd hope to be within the 20.
Okay, here's where I'm going.
It depends where you're kicking from.
Okay, well, I don't have the standard deviation broken down. I mean, we could do that if you really want me to. Notre Dame punted 5 times. Upon receiving the ball, Texas A&M picked up the ball at their own 37-yard line, 18-yard line, 11-yard line, 35-yard line, and 15-yard line. Average of 21. The average where they started when Notre Dame punted was practically their own red zone.
But what was the hang time?
Who cares about hang time?
Well, because
they're all fair catches.
It's
Did
easier
they have any return yards, Joe?
Oh God, punt returns. No. Yeah, 18 yards total. Average of 9. Who cares?
Yeah, that's not bad. I think what Max said, like a lot of it in punting, is situational. I think if you punt it to the 1 yard line and they pick it up at the 1 yard line.
Yeah, everybody wants to punt it inside the 5, but like that's okay. If what Mac is getting at is Notre Dame is deep in their own zone and the offense is struggling, and so we just got to punt it away, and thank God it goes 40 yards away. Like, if that's what he's saying, I'm kind of with you. But if you're saying the punting itself in a vacuum, which is what you said, is a problem, I'm kind of against you there. Like,
I'm just saying he's not the best punter. Like,
you flipped the field. You've clearly flipped the field.
He's not going to have those large booming kicks.
You take that back about our Australian punter, okay, who's apparently the next Sam Hartman.
He will have some absolutely boomer punts.
I guarantee you he has an Instagram account. Okay.
Yeah,
they just look like, I don't know. I just look. I don't go to practice and whatnot, but I mean, watching
Me neither.
They were low line drives with rolls the whole time.
Because he's an Australian punter.
Which from a scheming standpoint is designed to kick away from the returner, and he typically has to run backwards or sideways to get it. That actually helps your coverage team.
Okay. I don't know much about punting. I'm sorry. I'm just telling you, it looked ugly.
I'm not sure what you think is ugly, other than the fact that you're used to seeing pro style punting. This guy is
possible.
Which is fair, and I don't want to be rude to you. Like, but this guy is an Australian punter. The whole point of punting the ball is to flip the field and get rid of it, right? And knock the other team away and say, all right, we're going to put you back in your end zone so you have a long field, right? This isn't, and I don't have it in front of me because I don't want to inflict pain upon my brain. But when Notre Dame punted away against Ohio State, we didn't punt far enough, but it's probably because we were too far back in our own end zone in that Ohio State game at home that we lost, right?
And at that point, I'm pissed off at the offense. I'm not pissed off at the punter.
See, that's my point. That's my point.
Our offense can't get past our own 30-yard line, and we're kicking the ball off. At that point, you can't ask your punter to all of a sudden grow a magic leg and punt the ball 70 yards.
I was just saying we've already talked.
Is amazing.
We already talked about the offense. I was just adding something.
This is where people are turning us off, I swear.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I thought it was an interesting comment, but I couldn't resist the urge to.
Champagne problems. We're not worried about We're not worried about the progression of the offense. We're not worried about the defense. What's the next thing? How can we be better? How can we perfect ourselves? And he's right. The ideal of ideals is we want the ball inside the 10 for every single punt. Absolutely, that's the ideal of ideals. And to go for perfection, I 100% agree with what you're saying. 100%. Does it look great? No. But honestly, when you punt a ball with high hang time, that gives as much time for the return team to scheme up their plan as it does for the returner to actually gain momentum on the catch. When you actually have a kick that is a low line drive, that returner has to change his entire orientation. The entire return team has to shift their focus on wherever that returner goes. So it screws up their entire scheme.
Yeah,
Part of an
a bouncing
Australian punter-
ball that's kind of chaotic, especially a football that's shaped like a fucking lemon, is really hard to catch, unless you see it bouncing towards you in the air, and then it's, if it's kind of like scooting along the ground, forget about it. That's a nightmare. Let me put it another way, Mac. If we're punting from our own 36-yard line, is that bad? Because that's what it comes out to on average, right? If we say that on average Texas A&M started from their own 21, and on average James Rendell was punting 42.8 yards on average, that means you do the math, you subtract from 50, right? You end up that Notre Dame punted at least where the ball was placed, which means that the punt went farther because he's like 15 yards back. The ball was spotted at the 36-yard line at that fourth down in our own zone. And so you go from the 36-yard line of Notre Dame to the 21-yard line of Texas A&M. What I'm saying is you flip the field. And that is the number one point of punting. It's like, all right, this drive didn't work out. We're going to flip it.
I think from my perspective, it just is so unique or ugly. Meaning, he got 20 yards on each roll, and it's just, I don't know. I felt like I was yelling, not yelling at the team, but I just thinking to myself, why? And you've answered the question. Why doesn't A&M's returner run up and get to it so it doesn't roll 20 yards? And that's what I was thinking when I was making this comment. That's what my worry was. If they had a returner who could get to it, it wouldn't go. You get what I'm saying, and you've answered my question.
I guess. I mean, maybe it's a strategy thing. Maybe you want to punt the ball this way where it quote unquote looks ugly, because then you're taking away. It's kind of like on kickoffs. Just kick it in the end zone. You should never not kick it in the end zone on kickoffs. No. You know what I'm saying?
And Snapper was able to explain to me that they're kicking it a line drive away, and he's trying to kick it past the guy. I didn't think of that. That's
a lot of times
it's a systematic strategy.
Yeah, a lot of times those
Who cares how high it is in the air? What matters is flipping the field. And it's all about ball control. It's all about ball position. It's about down and distance every single time. A drive that's 60 yards versus 85 yards is completely different.
Well, usually you want hang time so that your coverage team can get down. Is what I'm trying to say.
But if the ball is bouncing and going end over end, and the coaches are screaming on the sideline, "Get away!" and they're waving their hands.
No, I understand. I'm saying Snapper explained it to me. That was all.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. Sorry, you. I felt like you threw me red meat. I don't know if you did that deliberately or if the scotch just. You're just like. You're talking shit about our Instagram model punter. Like, how dare you? How dare you?
I don't know much
Mac.
about him. I'm sorry.
Really? You need to be on Twitter more. Okay. No, I just remember in the off season, people are like, "Oh, look at this punter we have," and it's like, I mean, he's clearly, probably surfs or something. You know what I mean? Like, maybe he catches crocodiles. I don't know, but the sorry, I know that's insensitive, but the point I'm making is, you know, the dude will be fine, and I'm happy he's part of Notre Dame. He's an Australian, you know, rugby player style kicker, punter, what have you. So it's going to be a little uncharacteristic from what the purist of punting would like, as far as hang time and you know, this beautiful spirally punt. It's this ball that's, you know, chaotic and going end over end. But at the end of the day, I don't care. Like, it's punting, and to me, it's the fact that we punted 5 times is more of a reflection on the offense rather than a reflection on our quality of punting. I can guarantee you there are so many punts that Newsom shanked, but I guarantee you they looked really pretty in the air. Okay. And Newsom was a fucking captain at Notre Dame. So anyway, I'm not trying to smack you, Mac. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm being rude to you, but
my friend and I, we compared this because we thought A&M, like, I think against Northern Illinois, they're gonna blow them out, right? But when they play real competition, like they did on Saturday, my friend and I, we kind of compared them to the 2011 49ers. And that was a team that had a quarterback of Alex Smith. Okay. And really, they made the playoffs. They went to the NFC Championship, had a great defense, were led by the defense. But the top scorer was, I think, Joe Nedney that year, and that was their kicker. And I was watching, and you think of Jeter. He's nails. He looks good, and that's what I'm expecting is the top guy on the top dog on the offense is going to be Love and Price, like Frank Gore was. Just like Frank Gore was the guy for the Niners that year. That's what I was thinking of this team, and that's what I'm thinking.
Mac, you are officially the commissioner of special teams.
Well, but they also had a really good, I don't know.
I think Mac needs to bring up the special teams more than just this show, nitpicking about punting. And I think if let me put it another way.
As a fellow long snapper, I am right with you, Mac. All right, that's where I made my bread and butter.
That's why he's the red snapper.
You're speaking my language.
Punting.
But yeah, that Jim Harbaugh team did have a tough time moving the ball, and so that's why
he's now a Charger now, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Yes.
I bet Red Snapper has some mixed feelings about that.
Right now, I'm just waiting for regular season.
It's preseason; it doesn't matter. Yeah, wait till we have the division game, and then then the claws will come out. I will say this: the Red Snapper, what's harder, snapping back to a punter or snapping back to a field goal place holder?
Oh, field goal PAT. Absolutely.
That's what I thought, because it feels like it's like an aim small, miss small. Like, he's closer. It's still the same relative speed. Like does the speed change in the snap?
Speed is different.
Speed is different. So speed is different. And
you have a different follow through for a punt because you're
other podcast, by the way, is talking about special teams kicking and snapping like the way we are. Okay.
Exactly.
Hey yo!
If you made it 2 hours and plus minutes into the show and you're listening to this shit,
Easter eggs right here. You get Easter eggs. No, it's all about.
We're gonna expand your mind on the special teams.
At the same time, this changes the game. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Because think of the proximity from the line of scrimmage, and the proximity of the ball and its arc to travel is you have to get the ball out, up, and over as fast as possible. So the snap on a PAT and field goal is quick and sudden. It is, you don't want to tip when you're snapping. And that's on the long snapper. There is no count. There is no go. Everybody who's throwing hand signals is a bunch of bullshit. It is on the snapper when he's ready, and the goal is to do it when nobody else expects it.
Yeah.
Because the whole point is it's sudden, it's out of your hands so that it's in the holder, on the field, kicked. As a punt, it's a much more sweeping movement, and you can actually sit there and load yourself as you snap the ball to get the projection that you need, but it's got to come out where it's an easy catch, because there's still a tight spiral is a heck of a lot easier to catch when it's right pointed at you. A punter needs to catch it slightly angled so that they can turn the ball over and put it on top of their foot.
Unless you're an Australian punter, and then it doesn't matter apparently. So, okay. All right, Mac, I appreciate you. I think we're gonna start winding things down. It's late. I gotta go into the office tomorrow for work, obviously. Some of you people are already in bed. Mac, really appreciate your elements of punting. If you would like to take the
we can talk special teams anytime, Mac. You and I.
You and Red Snapper on the special teams podcast. I question whether that'll improve the quality of Dos Leprechauns YouTube channel. Although, if a bunch of punters and Justin Yoon, I mean, shit, what did I say? I wanted Reggie Ho as a guest on the podcast, right?
I was just saying.
Maybe we found our niche. Let's.
You
Ooh. All right, I start talking shit about Mac. Maybe we'll have Mac be our ambassador. All right, Mac. Mac is officially the ambassador of special teams.
Okay.
I like it.
We're going to write this down so we don't forget. Thank you. Hey. Ambassador of special teams.
Reggie Roby used to be my favorite player when I was a kid.
Okay. Is he the Red Power Ranger or what?
No, he was a punter. He was a journeyman punter. And what I liked about him is he used to kick without a shoe.
Oh. There was a guy I knew in grade school that did that, but he was kind of a douchebag, but okay. He was also really short, but whatever. That being said, okay, fine. Mac, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. You have made the conversation way more interesting than I thought it was going to be. I think we're going to start shutting it down unless if anyone wants to jump on, by all means, request to speak or unmute yourself. A couple high-level things, good things versus Texas A&M that we did that we should and I'm looking forward to carry over into Northern Illinois. No turnovers, okay? That was great. Now, Northern Illinois, despite the fact that they beat the crap out of Western Illinois by a considerable margin, 54-15, Northern Illinois was still -1 in turnovers in that game, which is surprising given the score, but that's good for Notre Dame. No sacks against us, which is great, and Northern Illinois was +1. We were 100% in red zone scoring, so that's good. Every time Notre Dame was in the red zone, we scored. Now, it was a field goal, it was a short field goal, but hey, it was great. If Jonathan Dorr was kicking that, it would have been a miss because he was good from the long, but from the short, not so much. So, rushing yards, 198 yards versus a Power 5 team in your home opener, right? I thought 198 yards was really good. I would like to see that momentum continue. Pass defense, stellar. Probably the best good nugget we can take away from this Texas A&M game. Definitely shut down the Texas A&M offense. And punting was good. No, I'm just kidding. We're not talking about punting. but the pass defense was good. 100 yards that Texas A&M earned against Notre Dame. And that's interesting because Northern Illinois had almost 400 yards to the air. Insane. Now, here's the craziest thing about this, okay? All right. Northern Illinois had a crazy amount of yards through the air. Truth or a lie, they had 58% running from a play call selection.
I'm not
True.
Baloney.
No, that's truth. They ran the ball 58% of the time. They ran the ball more than Notre Dame. And they had 5 passing touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns versus Western Illinois, the Leathernecks. So, which is weird and what makes that a little concerning was their passing attempts per touchdown. Every 5.8 passing attempts was for a touchdown.
That tells me that their opponent's pass defense was horrible.
I do think that the opponent and the quality of their talent, things of that nature, really are speaking, right?
Question for the panel: over under interceptions for Notre Dame's defense this week? I'm saying 2.5.
I'm going to say 3 defensive touchdowns.
3 defensive touchdowns.
Not just interceptions.
3 defensive touchdowns.
Wow. I'm gonna say 2 on that.
I'm gonna say 1 defensive touchdown. I'm gonna say 4 interceptions.
Can I say 1.5?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna set the line at 2.5 for the turnover margin.
Well, my line is at 1.5 because that's what reality is gonna be. So okay.
Yeah.
I don't think the game's going to be close enough for it to be more than that. Like someone's going to be sacked or we're just going to have the ball.
Does Howard Cross get a strip sack?
No.
Recover?
No. Jalen Sneed. If anyone's getting a scoop and score, it's going to be like Jalen Sneed or somebody like that.
Our boy Drake.
Drake Bowen could do it. Drake can do it. That would be sweet. You know, one of these younger guys getting a scoop and score at Notre Dame in their first
safety blitz. Yeah. Safety blitz. The new guy.
Yeah, it'd be great. I'm down. All right. So we talked about the high points versus Northern Illinois, and then we're gonna start shutting it down. Areas of improvement versus Northern Illinois. Passing. We talked about this earlier, but we have to emphasize this. The passing must improve. If it doesn't improve this week, we're in deep shit. Okay. 158 yards last week, 60% completion percentage, and 0 touchdowns. That will not get it done down the road in games that matter.
What would you like to see? What would you like to see?
I'll tell you exactly what that's supposed to be. It's supposed to be what national champions, average, right? Like, I want us to win the title. What's the guy that's holding the trophy at the end of the year doing? Well, that's what we should do, right? We need passing touchdowns, period, right? We don't need to mince words about that, okay? Completion percentage needs to be above 65%. Okay, we're at 60. National champions are 68.5. All right, but get at least a 65. All right, can we do that? Be better than last year's average, which was 64.7. Okay, that's how I'm benchmarking that. Be better than last year's average, please. Okay, and then the passing yards is also. Well, I mean, it's number 25 out of 25 for statistics. But we had 158 last year. It's not going to get it done. We need to be sniffing 300. 280 yards is what national champions average per game. And that's per game. So during the scrub teams, the lower level talent, which is what Northern Illinois is, I mean, let's face it, their 4-year recruiting average is 95 flat. We're at 9.3. So we're leaps and bounds better from a talent perspective, leaps and bounds better from a coach as far as win percentage, experience, etc.
I dig it.
Yeah. Now that's not all, but wait, there's more.
There's more?
Here's the reason why I think passing can be successful against Northern Illinois. Despite the fact that Northern Illinois won 54-15, their opponent, Western Illinois, had 204 yards through the air. They had more yards than Notre Dame did. Okay, and obviously they didn't play at Kyle Field, right? Because ESPN's told us that was really difficult. But the fact that Northern Illinois allowed 200 plus yards for their opponent in D2 tells me that they are susceptible. Now, that may be baiting us, but I also think that, look, we got superior athletes, superior talent. We should have a better quarterback, clearly. Just get some throws, get some stuff. I'm not advocating for a passing game. Obviously, I would rather run the football. My point is, if there's the one thing we must improve on offense, it's the passing game, period. Next thing that is very lingering, third down conversions. Third down conversion was bad last game. Okay, 16%. 2 of 12 of our third downs were proper conversions. Not good. Okay.
What was our what was our distance on those third downs? What was our average?
Oh, I don't have that.
36, 37?
I don't know the answer to that. It's probably because we did a bunch of stupid swing passes. My point is, our success on third down was not good. Now, we punted 5 times. Okay. Excuse me. But the 16.7% is not going to get it done. It needs to be just shy of 50% for me to be impressed. So that don't impress me much. Red zone scoring, we need more opportunities. Though we were 100% in the red zone, this kind of goes into the third down conversion and the passing thing, right? Like when you have you're behind in the chains, right? Down in distance, right? You got to keep the chains moving, right? Et cetera, et cetera. You keep the chains moving, you find yourself in the red zone, right? That didn't happen. We had only one opportunity. We only had a handful of I think we only had one opportunity in the red zone. We did score. We kicked a field goal, but we need more opportunities in the red zone. Okay, just the one. Our 2 touchdowns, they were rushing touchdowns. They were far off. I feel like I'm fighting the I Love Lucy show. Who is that in the background? Is that Coach? That is Coach. He's got to turn on.
No, I'm not listening to I Love Lucy.
What are you watching on TV? I hear whatever you're watching. Listening to.
I've got Futurama on in the background.
That's what I'm hearing.
Barely loud at all.
It's your phone is stellar. Okay, because I'm picking up all this other stuff.
It's an iPhone 14. It can't be that good.
Well,
yeah, I'm hearing it.
It's the acoustics. Okay, it's probably not the phone. It's probably the lack of, shag carpet. I don't know. What do you got? Hardwood floors in there? What do you got?
Yeah, hardwood floors.
All right, we got an echo effect. Okay, fair enough. All right. Sorry, sidebar. Red zone scoring, again, we need more opportunities. It's not that we were bad in red zone scoring. It was the red zone opportunities we had. We only had one. We kicked a field goal. Great. We were 100% in the red zone from a scoring standpoint. No touchdowns, though. Okay. And penalties, duh. We don't need to talk about that. Just clean up the penalties, right? Like maybe that's environment. It's first game, bid game, opponent, whatever. Clean up the penalties. Have a clean game. That's pretty much it, other than my quote here from Red Snapper: demand respect by commanding respect. That's pretty much where we're at. The end.
I will add, don't throw the ball at your receiver's feet, Riley Leonard.
Please don't. Yeah, don't do that. But no, this is a way more intense show than I thought we were going to do. And I kind of had the thought that would be possible. I was at Grant. I was listening to some intense shit going into the game. Or going into tonight's podcast, excuse me. And that will continue going in. But the boys are back. We're returning to Notre Dame. Get amped. Get excited. Notre Dame is returning to South Bend. First home game. I really appreciate everybody.
Anything's.
Go ahead, Coach. No.
I was just going to say, anything's better than shipping up to Boston. I'm so sick of that song.
I like the song. It seems a little misplaced at Notre Dame Stadium. That's all I'm gonna say. This
Absolutely.
song is
Well,
better.
I don't expect a Yankee fan to like that song. So just saying.
It has nothing to do with the Boston reference. It's just,
Yeah. Okay.
what does South Bend, Indiana have to do with Boston, Massachusetts? Nothing.
I guess Irish Catholics. That's the only thing I think
Yeah,
of. But
the Irish. Yeah.
But to me, that feels like a stretch.
But I mean, Notre Dame has more of a connection to Yankee Stadium than it does the city of Boston.
I agree from a city standpoint, maybe not from a demographic, whatever. But who knows?
I'd rather hear Flogging Molly than Dropkick Murphys if we're just going with
play that
Irish
here.
band.
Cue it up. Cue it up. There we go.
They should play this.
Don't tempt us with a good time.
Can you imagine coming out of the tunnel with this shit?
Play a little bit of Salty Dog or Tobacco Island.
Tobacco Island's dope. This is Drunken Lullabies. They might not play that one, but no, the good stuff. At one point, Flogging Molly was my favorite band. That has been replaced by Melancholy. We don't really play them much on the show, but note to self, we'll add that to the notes. Play more Melancholy.
Melancholy.
Most people have no idea who the hell that is, but that's fine. I kind of like it that way. Obscure punk bands that are actually from Sweden. All right, thank you everyone. This show went way too long, and not that the content was bad or we didn't appreciate everyone's feedback. It's kind of a good problem to have. That how is Natalie still on? This is great. Miss Zoom Zoom still on. What's up, Auntie? I see Owen's on here. He's on mute. Let's give Owen a minute. Sorry you're fighting Flogging Molly here, but maybe he wants to stay on mute. That's fine. But no, we're the data point is high and to the right for Notre Dame. We have a lot we can be excited and look forward to, and yeah, let's go out and get it. Let's go back to South Bend. The boys are back. We're not back in the same old mess. Sorry, Dave King at Flogging Molly. No, something's different about this team, and I'm not gonna talk at all anymore about this. But something is different.
Magic year number 3.
I don't know if it's the Magic Year 3. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe it's Magic Year 3. But, I mean, as the 2012 team was different and unique and in its own time capsule that it is, this team, and I can't even, like, place it and describe it in words, you know. But my heart tells me that something's different. And I'm excited to see the evidence on the field to describe that impression I have now. And that's all we'll say. Something is different about this Notre Dame football team, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that develops versus Northern Illinois.
I'm with you,
All
buddy.
I will say to close
you.
it out is I'll believe it when we win in December.
Fair enough. Justin, what's your thoughts on that?
I said I told you, dude. I've been a pessimistic dude. I've been a Notre Dame fan since the fucking minute I could walk, and there's just something in my gut. I feel different. I'm fucking pumped. What we did on Saturday was different than we've done in the past.
It is different,
and we have an opportunity to get to where we need to get, win a fucking quarterfinal game, and we have a chance to fucking do this. Let's go, dude. I truly believe that.
You saw on Saturday exactly what last week I said they needed was heart and toughness. You saw heart and toughness this last Saturday.
Yeah, no doubt indeed. All right, I think that's it. Unless anyone else got something witty, exciting, or fun to say.
Natalie, that was your cue up to say run the damn ball one more time.
Do it.
Run the damn ball.
Thank you, Natalie. That's it.
We're gonna have to cut that as a soundbite.
Maybe. We'll see
You
how it goes.
absolutely need to make that a soundbite.
100%.
Run the damn ball.
100%.
We might need to clean it up and get Justin's unimpressive voice out of the clip in the background. But yeah. Sorry, Justin. That's great. Jump back to us. I do not know the status of our post-game show yet. It's a day game, so that makes things a little more interesting for me as a dad with 2 little boys and a wife who's like, are you out of your fucking mind? You're gonna go in there and drink and be gone for 2 hours? Like, excuse me. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You know, this is a contributing reason why we do a show at 9:30 on the weekday when I have to go to work the next day. Weird. So part of me is like, hey, night game, yay, podcast, no problem. Boys are asleep. But you know, we will roll with it, okay? And we're excited. Right now, the plan is to do a post-game show, but stay to your social media account for as things develop. Thank you, everyone, for joining the Fighting Irish Faithful show. Have a good one. Go Irish and beat. What are they? The Huskies? Huskies. Beat Huskies.